Who is it that dares to cause trouble in my willow pavilion? Causing such a commotion, if the willow pavilion didn't react, it would be too embarrassing. With a stern shout, a group of imposing guards immediately emerged from inside the willow pavilion. The leader was burly, with true energy swirling around him, exuding an unspeakable majesty, and his eyes appeared extremely gloomy. Beside him stood two middle-aged men with indifferent expressions. Is it you who are causing trouble in my willow pavilion? Arriving in the hall and seeing Qin Chen and the others, one of the middle-aged men drew his long sword with a clang, and without saying a word, directly slashed at Qin Chen. Chi chi chi. The sky was filled with sword energy, like a large net, interlacing and shattering the void. Each sword energy was like a black silver thread, and once it cut through a person's body, the result would probably be a separation of head and body. Coming up and attacking without asking why, it can be seen that the willow pavilion has always been strong and domineering. Bang! The moment the sword energy net fell, a majestic fist energy burst out, shaking the void with amazing ripples, like a solid mountain, flying out horizontally and smashing the sky full of sword energy into pieces. The black iron fist continued unabated, and after breaking through the sword energy net, it suppressed the middle-aged man fiercely. Not good. The middle-aged man's expression changed drastically, and he held his sword with both hands, desperately slashing down. Clang! Sparks bloomed, and blazing flames splashed, like brilliant fireworks. The middle-aged man grunted, his tiger's mouth split open, blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, and his body staggered back several steps. As his feet landed, several deep footprints appeared on the ground. PFFT. Barely managing to stand firm, he spat out another mouthful of blood, his expression wilting. So strong. Everyone's eyes narrowed when they saw this scene. That middle-aged man was a master recruited by the Willow Pavilion. His cultivation was also at the peak of the mid-stage of the Heaven Realm, and he was a tough opponent. But unexpectedly, he was seriously injured by Zhu Sheng's punch. When did Zhu Sheng's cultivation become so terrifying? Clang clang clang. In an instant, a series of weapons unsheathed, and many experts from the Willow Pavilion stared at Zhu Sheng with intense killing intent. So it's the Zhu family head. What's wrong? Have you eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts, daring to come to my Willow Pavilion to act wildly? Waving his hand to tell his subordinates not to be impulsive, the burly man at the head looked gloomy and shouted in a low voice. In addition to Lu Cheng himself, the Willow Pavilion has recruited 3 experts at the late-stage peak of the Heaven Realm. This burly man is one of them, known as the Wrathful-Eyed Lion. This person was originally a master from the Great Liang Kingdom. Because he took a fancy to a young girl, he directly broke into the other party's family, intending to commit rape. That family was a noble family in the Great Liang Kingdom. After discovering this person, they were naturally extremely furious and immediately resisted. Unexpectedly, the wrathful-eyed lion was inherently cruel. Seeing that his deeds were exposed, not only did he not escape, but he instead started a massacre, beheading the other party's entire family. This case alarmed the imperial family of the Great Liang Kingdom, and they demanded that the Ministry of Justice thoroughly investigate. The wrathful-eyed lion could not stay in the Great Liang Kingdom, so he fled to Wu City. For the past 2 years, he has served as the chief guard in the Willow Pavilion, and his life has been very comfortable. Facing the wrathful-eyed lion's inquiry, Zhu Sheng remained expressionless and only looked respectfully at Qin Chen. Where is Lu Cheng? Tell him to get out here for me. Too lazy to look at the other party, Qin Chen said indifferently. Who are you, sir? The wrathful-eyed lion looked at Qin Chen intently, his eyes gloomy. At this time, he had already received information that the guards outside had been killed by the Zhu family, and that the Zhu family's visit this time seemed to be at the command of this young man, so he couldn't help but feel a little apprehensive. He is not an idiot. The Willow Pavilion's reputation has not been built in a day or two. Not long ago, the Zhu family came to ask for medicine with a respectful attitude. Now that they dare to come so arrogantly, it must be related to this young man. Before he understands the ins and outs, he will naturally not act rashly. You don't need to know who I am. You just need to let Lu Cheng get out here for me, Qin Chen said coldly. You are too arrogant, sir. Then I will see what you have to be so arrogant. Annoyed, The wrathful-eyed lion shouted angrily. Bang! His muscles bulged all over his body, instantly bursting his clothes, revealing his strong muscles, and punched Qin Chen. Boom! The void shook, and under the power of the fist, the entire hall roared. The whole person was like a demon god, reaching out his claws. HMPH. With a cold snort, Zhu Sheng instantly appeared in front of the wrathful-eyed lion, blocking his punch. Boom ka! The two energies collided in the void, and the amazing energy swept in all directions. Some of the tables and chairs around were instantly shattered, and in the energy, Zhu Sheng's face turned pale, and he staggered back several steps, his blood churning. Is this all you've got? You're still acting wildly here. The wrathful-eyed lion laughed out loud. In an instant, his aura became even stronger, as if it had doubled invisibly, like a demon god sweeping over. He is, after all, an old powerhouse at the late-stage peak of the heaven realm, while Zhu Sheng has only just broken through not long ago. Even if their strengths are similar, there will be a difference in experience. It's a pity, the Zhu family head is too reckless. He finally broke through to the late-stage peak of the heaven realm, but he didn't cultivate properly and insisted on coming here to cause trouble. Now he's finished. Is the Willow Pavilion so easy to deal with? The crowd sighed, feeling that the Zhu family was still too reckless and was completely hitting a stone with an egg. Bang! With a roar, this time, Zhu Sheng was even more miserable, and his body was almost blown away. A fishy sweetness came from his throat, and he almost spat out blood. Kneel down for me. Taking advantage of the situation, the wrathful-eyed lion pursued and suppressed with a palm, wanting to completely defeat Zhu Sheng. Zhu Sheng, your fighting style is obviously wrong. Dealing with this guy is actually very simple. Watch carefully. Just then, an indifferent voice suddenly sounded, and with a flash of figure, Qin Chen instantly appeared in front of Zhu Sheng. This guy, is he going to fight the wrathful-eyed lion? Everyone was still guessing who was pretending to be so forceful, but after seeing Qin Chen, they were all stunned. This kid is only 16 or 17 years old, right? How strong can his cultivation be? He's actually going to teach Zhu Sheng how to fight, and he's even dealing with the wrathful-eyed lion. Everyone was dizzy and speechless. Even if you want to die, you have to find another way. Ha ha ha, you little brat, still wet behind the ears, yet you dare to act arrogant in front of this granddaddy. Fine. Let this granddaddy see just what abilities you possess that give you the audacity to run wild in Willow Pavilion. Furious-eyed Mad Lion laughed heartily, his entire body brimming with even more condensed true energy, as he slammed a palm down towards Qin Chen. Whoosh! The boundless wind from his palm, like an ocean, instantly enveloped all the space around Qin Chen, pouring down madly. From a distance, Qin Chen looked like a sailboat on the sea, surrounded by storms and waves, about to be overturned at any moment. Take this. His 5 fingers spread open like a dustpan, and from furious-eyed Mad Lion's fingers erupted intense true energy, coiling towards Qin Chen like venomous snakes. This man appeared arrogant on the surface, but in reality, he was meticulous. From the very beginning, he had no intention of killing Qin Chen, but instead planned to capture him first, interrogate him about his background, and then decide what to do. After all, he had come to Willow Pavilion as a guard simply to find a place to settle down, not to truly risk his life for Lu Cheng. This young man, Qin Chen, dared to bring the Zhu family to cause trouble in Willow Pavilion, so he might have a significant background. Once he killed him, there would be no room for maneuver. How could Qin Chen not see through furious-eyed Mad Lion's intentions? He couldn't help but sneer. You still dare to hold back in front of this young master? Very well, today I'll just help Wei Tianming out and rid the great Liang kingdom of a pest. Clang! As soon as the words fell, the mysterious rusty sword at Qin Chen's waist suddenly unsheathed, and a beam of sword light flashed fiercely in the void. PFFT. The true energy erupting from furious-eyed Mad Lion's 5 fingers was split in 2, and countless scattered true energies transformed into a hurricane, sweeping in all directions, causing everyone to retreat. What? Furious-eyed Mad Lion's expression changed drastically, his face blank. Even if he hadn't used his full strength with that palm earlier, it shouldn't have been something a young man could break through. The other onlookers were also dumbfounded. Even Zhu Sheng, The late-stage Heaven Realm Peak Zhu family head couldn't withstand his attack, yet it was broken through by this kid with a single sword strike. Could it be that they were seeing things? Zhu Sheng, watch closely. This person's fist technique is based on masculine energy, but he hasn't cultivated this gang energy to its peak, causing gaps to exist in the process of true energy circulation. You only need to find these gaps and aim for the flaws to easily break through his moves. After breaking through Furious-Eyed Mad Lion's move with one strike, Qin Chen moved forward, explaining while simultaneously attacking. You brat, do you really think I can't deal with you? Furious-Eyed Mad Lion was enraged. What did this kid take him for? A martial arts experiment puppet. Furious Lion Raging Wave Fist. Roar. In the void, it seemed as if the sound of a furious lion roaring came, and along with it, the sound of raging waves. A massive true energy lion, treading on waves, came roaring, opening its bloody maw to bite down on Qin Chen. At this moment, Furious-Eyed Mad Lion no longer had the intention of capturing Qin Chen, but instead was focused on killing Qin Chen on the spot. Roar. The Furious Lion roared, its true energy surging. Before the terrifying attack even landed, the people in the distance already felt their eardrums vibrating and their breathing becoming difficult. From this, one could see what kind of pressure Qin Chen would be under the fist's might. But to their shock, under the might of Furious-Eyed Mad Lion's fist, Qin Chen was expressionless, his expression still very calm, and the rusty sword in his hand was swung out again. Swish. Everyone only felt a blur before their eyes, and before they could react to what had happened, the true energy Furious Lion that Furious-Eyed Mad Lion had blasted out suddenly let out a miserable scream, followed by a violent explosion, pulverized into dust under the sword light. Die. In the next moment, a dazzling sword light pierced through the void, heading straight for Furious-Eyed Mad Lion's throat. Not good. This sword is powerful. Furious-Eyed Mad Lion was shocked. Under Qin Chen's sword, his entire body's hair stood on end, as if he was being stared at by the god of death. He hastily slammed out a palm, and then retreated violently. Boom. Palm and sword collided, and the sword light that Qin Chen slashed out exploded violently, but in the next moment, it became even more powerful, instantly exploding into several sword lights, pouring out. Not good. Furious-Eyed Mad Lion was shocked. It was too late to dodge. He could only widen his horrified eyes and watch as the sky full of sword energy slashed into his body. Blood splattered, and Furious-Eyed Mad Lion let out a miserable roar, his eyes instantly dimming, and he fell heavily to the ground, completely losing his breath. With one sword strike, Furious-Eyed Mad Lion died. Stomp, stomp, stomp. All the Willow Pavilion guards standing behind Furious-Eyed Mad Lion were terrified, and they all retreated, their eyes filled with fear and horror as they looked at Qin Chen. As for the onlookers, they widened their eyes, their eyeballs almost falling out, and they were all dumbfounded. Did you see that? Although this person's fist technique is amazingly powerful, it is actually full of flaws. For example, the true energy Furious Lion from the beginning, because the true energy was not condensed enough, it didn't cover every part. You only need to find the weak parts of the true energy circulation to easily destroy his attack. Secondly, although this person's true energy is above yours, he cultivates horizontal training, and his body is incredibly strong, but his reaction speed is weaker than that of ordinary late-stage Heaven Realm Peak martial artists. If you use moves to catch him off guard, it's very easy to seize his weakness and kill him. Ignoring the dazed gazes of the people around him, Qin Chen turned around and earnestly taught Zhu Sheng. Yes. Zhu Sheng nodded. He was already mentally prepared for Qin Chen's terror and felt that he had benefited greatly. However, the other people around were all about to go crazy. At this time, he was still explaining moves. How thick did one's nerves have to be to do such a thing? As for the people from the Wild Wind Adventurer team, they trembled with excitement. They had no background and had been struggling in Martial City for many years, so they knew the benefits of being taught by a strong person. Now, Qin Chen's appearance gave them hope. Where is Lu Cheng? Why hasn't he come out yet? Stepping forward, Qin Chen coldly shouted at the remaining guards of Willow Pavilion, frowning involuntarily. Things have already escalated to this point, yet Lu Cheng hasn't appeared. Could he have run away? Who are you, sir? Causing trouble in my willow pavilion and being so arrogant. Do you really think there's no one in my willow pavilion? In the next moment, an angry cold shout rang out, and another group of people walked out from inside Willow Pavilion. Leading them was a middle-aged man wearing an alchemist robe, with a thin face and gloomy eyes. Beside him were two old men with extraordinary aura, with hooked noses and sunken eye sockets, like vultures. As soon as the three of them appeared, their eyes fell on the furious-eyed mad lion who had died in the hall, and their faces looked extremely ugly. Pavilion Master. The guards and waiters present all respectfully saluted the middle-aged man in the alchemist robe, their faces pale. All of you, step back. With a gloomy expression, Lu Cheng, who was expected to be furious, did not get angry, but instead looked at Zhu Sheng. Family head Zhu, what do you mean by this? My Willow Pavilion has always had no grievances with your Zhu family, and even offered advice and put in a lot of effort for the injuries on your body. Are you not afraid of violating the conscience of heaven and earth by acting like this? At this time, Lu Cheng could still remain calm, which made Qin Chen feel a trace of surprise. Ha ha ha, what a schemer, racking your brains, you are indeed an insidious villain, to even say such words. Hearing this, Qin Chen couldn't help but laugh out loud. Who are you, to commit murder in my Willow Pavilion, and utter such arrogant words? Do you really think there is no law in Wucheng? Today, if you don't give my Willow Pavilion an explanation, don't even think about leaving safely. Lu Cheng looked at Qin Chen, his eyes filled with anger. Qin Chen didn't expect that when faced with such a situation, Lu Cheng wouldn't immediately attack, but instead try to reason with him. However, this suited his intentions. You are just a quack doctor, a swindler, how dare you ask for an explanation? What do you mean? Lu Cheng's expression darkened. What do I mean? Don't you know? Qin Chen pointed at Zhu Sheng. You should know this patriarch Zhu, right? Of course. I know him, Lu Cheng sneered. That's good. Then do you remember a few days ago, when this patriarch Zhu was seriously injured and came to your door, asking you to treat him? How could I not remember? Then can you tell me, what exactly did you do back then? Why not? Lu Cheng sneered. A few days ago, Zhu Sheng was injured by the Zhou family and was seriously injured, so he begged me to help him treat him. Seeing his miserable state, I felt compassionate, so I agreed. As you all know, my Willow Pavilion requires the completion of a task for treatment. Coincidentally, I, Lu, was preparing to refine a pill and was missing the compound eye of a three-eyed salamander, so I gave this task to the Zhu family. As long as the Zhu family brings the compound eye of the three-eyed salamander, I will treat him. I was even worried that the Zhu family wouldn't be a match for the three-eyed salamander, so I also refined a potion to suppress the three-eyed salamander for them. Unexpectedly, this Zhu family is ungrateful. Not only did they not bring the compound eye of the three-eyed salamander, but they even came to my Willow Pavilion to cause trouble today. They are truly despicable, hateful, and shameless. Lu Cheng spoke righteously and passionately. Pa, pa, pa. A burst of applause came, and Qin Chen was seen clapping his hands, his face full of sneers. You speak very well. Those who don't know the truth would really be deceived by your acting skills. What do you mean by this? Lu Cheng frowned. Qin Chen didn't waste any words, and clapped his hands. Bring him up. Yes. Immediately someone responded, and then, the crowd parted, and several elders of the Zhu family led a middle-aged man in. Isn't that elder Zhou Zhenglong of the Zhou family? How could he be in the hands of the Zhu family? The Zhu family and the Zhou family have always been at odds. I heard that this morning, the Zhou family's patriarch Zhou Xinhua led a group of Zhou family elders to the Zhu family to cause trouble. How did they fall into the hands of the Zhu family? Hey, Zhou Zhenglong is an elder of the Zhou family, with a cultivation base as high as the mid-stage of the heaven realm, but there isn't even a trace of true energy fluctuation on his body. Yes, and he's so weak. Hiss. Could he have been crippled? The crowd erupted, discussing animatedly. Seeing Zhou Zhenglong, Lu Cheng's expression changed drastically. Thump. A kick landed on Zhou Zhenglong's knee, and Zhou Zhenglong knelt down, his face twitching in pain. Master Lu Cheng, save me. Seeing Lu Cheng, Zhou Zhenglong felt as if he had seen his parents, and shouted in panic. Clang. With the rusty sword resting on Zhou Zhenglong's neck, Qin Chen said coldly, "Speak. Tell me all the conspiracies of your Zhou family and Willow Pavilion honestly, and I will let you go immediately, but if you talk nonsense, don't blame me for being ruthless." A trace of icy killing intent permeated the air. Zhou Zhenglong trembled, not daring to move, only looking at Lu Cheng with hopeful eyes. Because he knew that only Lu Cheng could save him now. Still thinking about others saving you. Qin Chen was speechless. It was already this time, and this guy still had hope. Did he really think he wouldn't kill him? Swish. A flash of sword light. Zhou Zhenglong's right arm flew out. Ah! Zhou Zhenglong didn't expect Qin Chen to act so quickly, and instantly let out a miserable scream. Blood spurted out from the severed arm like a fountain. His hands moved like phantoms, stopping the bleeding for the other party. Qin Chen said indifferently, "Are you going to talk now?" I'll talk. Zhou Zhenglong nodded repeatedly, his face filled with horror, tears almost streaming down his face. He deeply knew Qin Chen's ruthlessness. This son killed even the family head without hesitation. He was also merciless in the Willow Pavilion just now. If he really didn't speak, the other party would definitely be ruthless and take his life in an instant. Immediately, he was about to open his mouth. "You are killing people indiscriminately in my Willow Pavilion. Do you really not take my Willow Pavilion seriously?" With an angry roar, before Zhou Zhenglong could speak, Lu Cheng moved instantly, grabbing towards Zhou Zhenglong with a claw. "Ha ha ha. You're not letting him speak. Are you afraid that the conspiracy will be revealed?" Qin Chen sneered, and with a slash of his sword, the sharp sword light was like a celestial being from outside the sky, with unmatched sharpness. With a whoosh and a boom, it slashed on Lu Cheng's claw. Bang! Lu Cheng staggered back, his face pale, his heart filled with shock. This sword of Qin Chen's seemed simple, but in fact, it contained an astonishing sword intent. If he had insisted on attacking earlier, he might have been seriously injured. When did such a monstrous genius come to Wu Cheng? Lu Cheng was filled with shock and anger. However, after failing in one move, his body didn't stop. He exchanged a glance with the two old men beside him, and immediately let out a low roar. "Do-it!" Boom! 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 Three terrifying auras rose into the sky at the same time. The three-peak late-stage Heaven Realm experts almost instantly attacked, wanting to kill Qin Chen. Young hero, Zhu Sheng's expression changed, and he hurriedly stepped forward. "Zhu Sheng, step back." With a cold shout, how could Qin Chen not know Lu Cheng's intentions? His body swayed, and the rusty sword in his hand instantly transformed into a rain of swords. Ding! 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 Dense sword energies crisscrossed, and a scene that shocked everyone present occurred. The three-peak late-stage Heaven Realm experts of Willow Pavilion attacked, but they couldn't break through Qin Chen's defense. It could be seen that the dense sword energies formed a large net, and no matter which direction Lu Cheng and the others attacked from, they would be blocked, without any mistakes. How is this possible? My God, where did this monster come from? The crowd was in shock, and they were all going crazy. Lu Cheng and the others were famous in Wu Cheng, and each of their cultivation bases was as high as the peak late-stage Heaven Realm. Not to mention a young man, even an old peak late-stage Heaven Realm expert would probably be in a desperate situation, and might be seriously injured or killed. But now, Qin Chen, a young man, and still protecting a cripple, was actually able to cope with the attacks of the three great experts with ease, without any effort, instantly stunning everyone. This kid, no wonder he's a monster. Damn it. The onlookers were shocked, while Lu Cheng and the others were shocked and angry. Although they knew that Qin Chen was terrifying, the three of them never expected that Qin Chen would be so strong, able to hold his own against the three of them without falling behind, and even protect Zhou Zhenglong. This was simply ghost. Little did they know that Qin Chen's soul power had already reached the point of soul convergence and formation. The attacks of the three seemed like a torrential downpour, but after all, they hadn't reached the pinnacle of perfection. Qin Chen could easily distinguish the order of the three's attacks and then resist, without any effort at all. The three were shocked and angry, and flaws immediately appeared in their attacks. Qin Chen seized the opportunity and thrust out two swords in an instant. Puff! Puff! Two of the old men were unable to dodge, and blood bloomed on their chests as they flew backwards. Damn it! Seeing this, Lu Cheng's heart sank, and a hint of ferocity flashed in his eyes. With a wave of his hand, an invisible sound of air being torn apart rang out sharply, heading straight for Zhou Zhenglong's face. It was actually a steel needle as thin as a cow's hair. The steel needle was invisible, carrying a strong killing intent, causing Zhou Zhenglong's pupils to shrink suddenly, and the hair on his body to stand on end, as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. It was about to hit him. Ding! A flash of sword light, and the steel needle was instantly knocked away, shooting into the eaves above and disappearing, leaving only a tiny hole almost invisible to the naked eye. Is Your Excellency so eager to silence him because you are afraid that your conspiracy will be exposed? Qin Chen held the rusty sword and forced Lu Cheng back with another strike, then sneered coldly. Seeing this, the crowd also burst into an uproar. Could it be that this pavilion master Lu and the Zhou family really have some kind of conspiracy? Otherwise, why would Master Lu Cheng be in such a hurry to kill Zhou Zhenglong? The crowd couldn't remain calm and began to clamor. One had to know that when the Mad Lion was killed earlier, Lu Cheng didn't immediately take action. But just now, as soon as Zhou Zhenglong of the Zhou family was about to speak, Lu Cheng couldn't hold back, which was indeed not in line with common sense. For a time, the crowd couldn't help but speculate. Are you willing to speak now? This Lu Cheng even wants to kill you. You wouldn't still want to be loyal to him, would you? Qin Chen sneered, exerting a little force with the rusty sword in his hand. I'll talk. At this time, where would he dare to hide anything? Zhou Zhenglong hurriedly explained the collusion between the Zhou family and Lu Pavilion from beginning to end. What? The Zhu family's patriarch was injured before because he was poisoned by Lu Pavilion. Deliberately using the excuse of treating Zhu Sheng to send Zhu family experts to the profound heavy mountain range to die. Once the Zhou family takes down the Zhu family, they have to give half of the treasures to Lu Pavilion. Boom! It was as if a bomb had been dropped into the crowd, and it exploded instantly. Everyone was talking and unable to remain calm, and the entire scene was almost out of control. One had to know that Lu Pavilion had a great reputation in Wucheng. Many people had chosen to complete the tasks assigned by Lu Pavilion in order to seek treatment from Lu Cheng. But now, hearing that Lu Pavilion would set traps in the tasks, and even secretly collude with the healer's opponents, with the aim of plundering the healer's property, everyone was immediately shocked and angry. If that were the case, it would be too terrifying. Humph! Everyone, don't listen to Zhou Zhenglong's nonsense. My Lu Pavilion is upright and wholeheartedly treats everyone. How could we do such a thing? It's clearly the Zhu family and the Zhou family who are slandering us, Lu Cheng said, his heart sinking. The thing he least wanted to happen had finally happened, and he hurriedly explained. What a slander! I believe everyone is a discerning person and can see at a glance who is lying, Qin Chen sneered, pointing at Zhou Zhenglong and saying, in terms of witnesses, Zhou Zhenglong of the Zhou family is the witness. In terms of physical evidence, the potion in my hand is the physical evidence. This potion is exactly what Lu Cheng gave to the Zhu family, supposedly to weaken the three-eyed salamander. But in reality, it is a special beast-attracting potion that will not only not weaken the three-eyed salamander's strength, but will instead make the blood beast even more manic. Lu Cheng, what else do you have to say? Ah, no wonder we, the Gale Wind Adventurer team, encountered the heavenly level blood beast, the sky-eyed ghost cat, as soon as we entered the profound heavy mountain range. It might have been Lu Pavilion's doing, the Gale Wind Adventurer team, who had followed, also exclaimed in shock and anger. Too despicable. I don't know how our Gale Wind Adventurer team offended his Lu Pavilion to be plotted against so meticulously. That's right. Besides the Zhu family and our Gale Wind Adventurer team, how many other forces have been harmed by their Lu Pavilion? I remember that the Li family also suffered heavy casualties because they wanted to complete Lu Pavilion's task. I wonder if Lu Pavilion was involved in that as well. The crowd was completely boiling and filled with righteous indignation. It was really because Lu Pavilion's reputation was too bad. They ignored everyone who came to them for help and had a terrible attitude. Even if they agreed, they would require the completion of various harsh tasks before they would provide treatment. However, There were too few alchemists in Wucheng, which forced people to agree to their demands. Now, hearing about such a thing, how could they not be furious? Everyone, don't listen to this kid's nonsense. There's a misunderstanding, Lu Cheng said, sweat beading on his forehead, as he repeatedly explained. Once such a thing were to spread, his Lu Pavilion would be completely ruined. However, at this moment, how could people still believe Lu Cheng's words? They were all scolding and filled with anger. Boy, I will definitely kill you today. Lu Cheng roared, completely frantic, looking at Qin Chen with resentment. All of this was caused by the kid in front of him. At this moment, he wished he could tear Qin Chen into 10,000 pieces. If you don't kill me, I will kill you too. Qin Chen narrowed his eyes and said, everyone in Lu Pavilion, listen up. Today, I, Qin, will act on behalf of Wucheng to uphold justice and punish evil. All those who do not want to collude with Lu Pavilion, leave quickly, and I will not pursue the matter. Otherwise, you will be killed without mercy. Ha ha ha. Boy, do you really think you are invincible? Hearing this, Lu Cheng was not surprised, but instead burst out laughing, his body radiating a strong killing intent. My Lu Pavilion has stood in Wucheng for many years. With just you want to destroy my Lu Pavilion. Wishful thinking. Today, I, Lu, will let you know the capital with which my Lu Pavilion stands in Wucheng. Bang! With a stomp of his right foot, the entire Lu Pavilion suddenly shook, and rays of dazzling white light soared into the sky, instantly covering the entire Lu Pavilion. In an instant, everyone felt as if they were in another world, and everything around them disappeared, leaving only a vast expanse of white. It's a formation. The crowd exploded, completely panicked. One had to know that many of the martial artists in the audience were at the heavenly level, but even their senses could not be released. It could be seen that the formation surrounding them at this moment was at least a third-tier peak formation, and it was even very likely to be a fourth-tier formation. Once such a formation was activated, combined with the three great heavenly level late-stage peak experts like Lu Cheng, they could completely kill everyone present. You stinky brat, daring to act wildly in my Lu Pavilion, you will die today. And you Zhu family members, daring to slander my Lu Pavilion, you will all die. Lu Cheng's sinister voice came from within the white light, filled with resentment and anger. At the same time, a fierce gust of wind appeared behind Qin Chen's head in an instant, stabbing down fiercely. In this white light, everyone's senses were restricted, and Lu Cheng's attack was sudden and fast, so fast that people couldn't react at all. Lu Cheng could already imagine the scene of Qin Chen's head exploding under his punch. However, what Lu Cheng didn't expect was that the scene he had imagined didn't happen after his punch. Clang! Sparks flew everywhere, like fireworks, run out 3 or 4 meters away in an instant. At some point, the rusty sword in Qin Chen's hand had already blocked behind his head, stopping Lu Cheng's powerful blow. How is that possible? Lu Cheng was shocked and blurted out. The formation arranged in his Lu Pavilion was called the Four Symbols Reversal Formation, and its rank was as high as the peak of the 3rd rank, and it even faintly had the prototype of a 4th rank formation. Not to mention a heaven-level martial artist, even a 4th rank profound-level martial artist would be restricted, confused in thinking, and blurred in perception when entering it. But Qin Chen discovered the direction of his attack all at once, which was completely beyond his expectations. A mere broken 4 symbols reversal formation, and you want to trap this young master? How ridiculous! Qin Chen's cold voice came, causing Lu Ji's eyeballs to widen instantly, and he said in horror, "You. How do you know that this formation is the 4 symbols reversal formation?" A sense of foreboding suddenly rose in his heart, and without bothering to understand, his figure retreated violently in an instant. However, he still failed to escape the arrival of the god of death. Poof! A bright sword light flashed before his eyes, and the next moment, a blood-colored thread suddenly appeared at Lu Cheng's throat, and gurgling blood sprayed out desperately. You. With wide eyes, Lu Cheng fell heavily to the ground, never expecting that he would die in Qin Chen's hands, and so vulnerably. Not good. Master Lu Cheng is dead. How could this child be so strong? In the four symbols reversal formation, the other two heaven-level late-stage peak elders of Lu Ji were instantly frightened and their souls were about to fly away when they saw this scene. As experts of Lu Ji, the two naturally had ways to avoid being affected by the four symbols reversal formation, and watched Qin Chen kill Lu Ji with one sword, effortlessly, like killing a chicken. Cold sweat instantly broke out on their backs. Run! No longer having the courage to continue fighting, the two figures swayed and hurriedly turned to escape. Want to leave? Stay here. With the four symbols reversal formation as cover, Qin Chen didn't have to worry about revealing his strength at all, and a mental storm instantly rushed out. The figures of the two stagnated abruptly in flight, and the next moment, two sword lights lit up, and the heads of the two soared into the sky, with blood splashing nearly 10 feet away. After collecting the three people's storage rings, Qin Chen stomped on the ground, and with a buzz, invisible mental power spread out, and the four symbols reversal formation instantly calmed down, and the hall returned to silence again. The whole process seemed long, but it was actually in an instant. Before everyone had time to react to what had happened, the formation disappeared, and then they saw the corpses of Lu Cheng and the other three lying on the ground, and the mysterious rusty sword in Qin Chen's hand was dripping with blood. Dead. Dead. Master Lu Cheng is dead just like that. And that young man and the Zhu family are safe and sound, no one is hurt. The crowd stared blankly at Qin Chen, and then looked at the three corpses on the ground in horror. Everyone was completely dumbfounded, their minds were muddled, and they didn't know what had happened. These were three heaven-level late-stage peak martial artists, and they were in Lu Ji's home field, with the blessing of the formation. If what they saw was the corpses of Qin Chen and the Zhu family, they could still accept it. But now, the ones who died were Lu Cheng and the two great experts of Lu Ji. In just over a dozen breaths, the three great experts of Lu Ji fell. At this moment, everyone was shocked and unable to remain calm. Quick, hit me twice to see if I'm dreaming. Pa. Ouch. My God, it hurts me to death, this is actually not a dream. Dream your head off. Immediately afterwards, the crowd was in an uproar and completely boiled over. From today onwards, Lu Ji will no longer exist. All of you, get out of here. With a low shout, Qin Chen stared coldly at the remaining guards and waiters of Lu Ji. Clang! Battle knives and long swords fell to the ground. The guards of Lu Ji present didn't even have the courage to stand, and their legs were weak. They threw down their weapons and fled as if they were running for their lives. Soon they were all gone. Everyone, please leave. Lu Ji will be closed from today onwards. Qin Chen said in a deep voice to the many onlookers. Yes, we're leaving. We're leaving right away. From breaking the third rank formation with a palm at the door to still being safe and sound in the stronger formation, and even killing Lu Cheng and the other three, everyone understood that the young man in front of them was very likely a grandmaster of formations. Otherwise, no matter how strong he was, it would be impossible for him to kill Lu Cheng under such a formation. Now that the formation was finally broken, if they didn't leave, everyone would probably die here if the other party activated the formation again. In an instant, everyone fled in panic, leaving nothing behind. You! Get out of here too! Afterwards, Qin Chen shouted at Zhou Zhenglong, who was paralyzed on the ground and completely frightened. He had said that he would let this guy go, and this person had already been crippled, so Qin Chen was naturally too lazy to kill him again. Really? Really letting me go? Zhou Zhenglong suddenly raised his head and looked at Qin Chen in astonishment. What? Do you still want to stay? No. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Trembling and standing up, Zhou Zhenglong looked at Qin Chen in horror, cautiously, and walked out step by step. He didn't run until he reached the door and found that Qin Chen still had no intention of attacking. Outside Lu Ji, the dazzling sunlight shone on Zhou Zhenglong, giving him a feeling of surviving a disaster, and he almost cried to the sky. If he had another chance, he swore that even if he was beaten to death, he would never trouble the Zhu family again. Young hero Qin Chen, what do we do now? Staring blankly at the corpses of Lu Cheng and the others, Zhu Sheng and the others were also dumbfounded, and their brains were completely overwhelmed. The dignified influential figure in Wu Cheng, the second-grade peak alchemist, died so easily here, making people feel like it was a dream when they thought about it. Clean up this place. At the same time, search this Lu Ji, and send everything you find to me. Yes. Young hero Qin Chen. Nodding respectfully, Zhu Sheng didn't hesitate at all. Anyway, his life was given by young hero Qin Chen. Now that such a big thing has happened, the only option is to share the glory and the loss with young hero Qin Chen. By the way, young hero Qin Chen, I heard that this Lu Cheng has a good relationship with the Zhu family, one of the four major forces. The Zhu family is a family of formations, and it is very likely that the formation of Lu Ji was arranged by the Zhu family. If the Zhu family learns of the news here, they may come to seek revenge. You must be careful. Don't worry, I know. Qin Chen nodded. Seeing that Qin Chen's expression remained unchanged, Zhu Sheng left with peace of mind. While Zhu Sheng and the others were searching Lu Ji, Qin Chen found a quiet room and began to search Lu Cheng's storage ring. While Qin Chen and the others were cleaning up the mess. Everything that happened in Willow Pavilion had already spread like a gust of wind throughout Martial City. Immediately, it caused a huge uproar. Willow Pavilion was different from the Zhou and Zhu families. As an open-ended pill pavilion, Willow Pavilion's reputation in Martial City was much greater than that of the Zhou and Zhu families. After all, every martial artist might need pills for cultivation. Regardless of whether they had ever traded with Willow Pavilion, at least every martial artist in Martial City would pay attention to a pill-making force like Willow Pavilion. But now, the pavilion master of Willow Pavilion, Lu Cheng, had actually been killed in Willow Pavilion by the Zhu family and a young man. This news immediately caused an earthquake in Martial City. Everyone was in an uproar. Was the Zhu family courting death? Everyone knew that Willow Pavilion and the Zhu family, one of the four major forces, had an extremely close relationship. The Zhu family's actions were not only targeting Willow Pavilion, but in the eyes of outsiders, it was also a slap in the face to the Zhu family. For a time, everyone turned their attention to the Zhu family, wanting to see how the Zhu family would deal with this. Zhu family residence. This was an extremely magnificent mansion, covering an area of hundreds of acres, located in the most prosperous area of Martial City. As one of the four major forces in Martial City, the Zhu family held immense power. In Martial City, they were like a behemoth, awe-inspiring. Bang! Semicolon. A delicate mahogany table was smashed to pieces by a huge palm. Zhu Hongjian, the second master of the Zhu family, was now looking at the steward who came to report with a gloomy expression and anger in his eyes. What did you say? Willow Pavilion was destroyed by the Zhu family. Semicolon. He said in shock, his tone filled with disbelief. Yes, this subordinate has carefully investigated the source of the news. Willow Pavilion was indeed destroyed by the Zhu family and a young man just now. Pavilion Master Lu Cheng and his 3 great experts all perished, none survived. Semicolon. The steward knelt on the ground, trembling, his head lowered. How is that possible? The Zhu family is just a small family, how can they compare with Willow Pavilion? Semicolon. Moreover, there is a formation set up by my Zhu family in Willow Pavilion. Not to mention the mere Zhu family, even ordinary early-stage profound realm martial artists would not want to easily break through it. Semicolon. Even after receiving confirmation, Zhu Hongjian still found it unbelievable. This subordinate heard that the young man brought by the Zhu family seems to be a formation master as well. With just one punch, he broke through the formation outside Willow Pavilion. His attainments in formations are extremely terrifying. Semicolon. One punch broke through the formation at the entrance of Willow Pavilion. Semicolon. Zhu Hongjian's eyes widened, and then he snorted coldly. HMPH. I don't know where this rumor came from, it's simply nonsense. Semicolon. He was not unaware of the formation at the entrance of Willow Pavilion. It was originally arranged by him, and it was a third-order peak formation. It was a joke that it was broken by a young man with one punch. Even he, Zhu Hongjian, didn't have this ability, right? Alright, take people to Willow Pavilion immediately to see what's going on. Remember, don't be fooled by some rumors. Also, regardless of whether Lu Cheng is dead or not, Willow Pavilion must be taken down for me. My Zhu family spent a lot of effort to build that place, and it must not fall into the hands of others easily. Semicolon. Yes. Semicolon. The steward immediately accepted the order and retreated. A young man. HMPH. I want to see who dares to run wild in Martial City. Semicolon. Zhu Hongjun's expression was gloomy and his face was ashen. Qin Chen naturally didn't know that the Zhu family, one of the 4 major forces in Martial City, had already set their sights on him. Even if he knew, he would definitely not care. At this time, he was in Willow Pavilion, searching for Lu Cheng's storage ring. It had to be said that Lu Cheng was indeed a celebrity in Martial City, a pharmacist who had been running Willow Pavilion for many years. The number of treasures in the storage ring surprised Qin Chen. Various spiritual medicines and silver notes were scattered in a pile, everywhere. Among them, there were a large number of second-grade pills, but the quality of these pills was relatively average. But even pills of this quality could still make people in Martial City flock to them, which showed how scarce pharmacists were here. These pills naturally couldn't arouse Qin Chen's interest, and his gaze continued to search in the storage ring. Semicolon. Finally, after seeing a bright lotus flower in the storage ring, Qin Chen's face immediately revealed joy. It really is a 7-colored heart lotus. Semicolon. This lotus flower had 7 colors, like a 7-colored rainbow, gorgeous and colorful. The quality of this 7-colored heart lotus is not bad. It has been around for at least 100 years. As long as I refine the medicinal properties in it, it will be enough to improve my cultivation further. Semicolon. The more Qin Chen looked at it, the more satisfied he became. The reason why he came to Willow Pavilion and insisted on attacking Lu Cheng was because he saw that Zhu Sheng had been poisoned by the heart lotus and wanted to see if Lu Cheng had the 7-colored heart lotus. He didn't expect that he would really find it. The 7-colored heart lotus is very rare. If I directly absorb the medicinal properties, although it can also improve my cultivation, it can be said that at least 80 to 90% of the medicinal effect will be wasted. Only by refining it into a heart lotus pill can its efficacy be maximized. Semicolon. Treasures like the 7-colored heart lotus naturally cannot be wasted casually, and its efficacy must be maximized. It can be seen that Lu Cheng may have been afraid of wasting the medicinal properties of the 7-colored heart lotus, so he had not refined it and carefully preserved it in the storage ring. Qin Chen would naturally not do anything more wasteful than Lu Cheng. The refining of the heart lotus pill is very complicated. In addition to the 7-colored heart lotus, at least 5 or 6 4th-order profound-level spiritual medicines must be fused. I have to find a way to collect all the materials as soon as possible. Semicolon. Moreover, the 100 ghost curse on my body must also be expelled as soon as possible. Semicolon. What method should I use? Semicolon. Qin Chen frowned and thought. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind. Since Martial City is very short of pharmacists, why not? His eyes lit up, and Qin Chen immediately had an idea. He immediately walked out. In the hall, the Zhu family members were already standing respectfully. Young hero Qin Chen, these are the properties we found in Willow Pavilion. Semicolon. In front of everyone, there were boxes. Inside were pills, spiritual medicines, and other items found from the various counters of Willow Pavilion. The quantity was so large that Zhu Sheng and the others were amazed. In terms of financial resources, although their Zhu family also operated several shops in Martial City, they were simply worlds apart compared to Willow Pavilion. Without looking at the boxes in the hall, Qin Chen directly said to Zhu Sheng, I need you to do something now. Reopen this Willow Pavilion as soon as possible. I plan to sell some pills. Also, change the name to First Pill Pavilion. Semicolon. Zhu Sheng was stunned. Young hero Qin Chen, are you planning to sell all the pills from Willow Pavilion? Semicolon. Qin Chen shook his head and said, Zhu Sheng, you can call me young Master Chen from now on. Don't call me young hero Qin Chen, it sounds awkward. Secondly, the pills I want to sell are not Willow Pavilion's pills. Willow Pavilion's trash pills will not appear in First Pill Pavilion. Semicolon. Trash pills. Hearing this, Zhu Sheng and the others were dumbfounded. Not selling Willow Pavilion's pills, what pills is young Master Chen planning to sell? Moreover, Lu Cheng was also a second-grade peak pharmacist, and his reputation in Marshall City was extremely high. To be called trash pills, isn't that too exaggerated? Young Master Chen, if we don't sell the pills from Willow Pavilion, what pills are we going to sell? Someone couldn't help but ask. I plan to sell rank 3 true Qi pills, profound breaking pills, and mind concentrate pills. Qin Chen casually said a few names. Zhu Sheng and the others were shocked by Qin Chen's words, their mouths agape. Rank 3 true Qi pills, profound breaking pills, and mind concentrate pills. Is this for real? Zhu Sheng and the others were going crazy. You must know that in Marshall City, a rank 2 peak alchemist is already considered top-notch. Aside from the Heavenly Star Merchant Association, even the 3 major powers of the Song family, Zhu family, and Marshall Cultivation Manor don't have rank 3 alchemists. Yet, Qin Chen said he was going to sell rank 3 pills, which completely exceeded their imagination. Does young Master Chen really have these pills? Seeing Zhu Sheng and the others' suspicion, Qin Chen didn't explain. He casually took out a true Qi pill, and a rich medicinal fragrance immediately permeated the air. It really is a rank 3 pill. Gasps of cold air arose one after another. Zhu Sheng and the others' bodies trembled violently, their expressions dull. Even though they were somewhat mentally prepared, they were still shocked the moment Qin Chen took out the pill. Originally, they thought they had a certain understanding of Qin Chen, but now they realized that what they had glimpsed was only the tip of the iceberg. Young Master Chen, are you sure these pills can really be sold directly? Zhu Sheng asked, swallowing. The pills Qin Chen had just mentioned were too heaven-defying. In a place like Marshall City, which lacked alchemists, these rank 3 pills were enough to be auctioned off at the Heavenly Star Merchant Association. Now, selling them directly was simply too savage. Of course. Do you have any other questions? Qin Chen knew that if he wanted to get real treasures from the martial artists of Marshall City, buying them with money would definitely not work. Only by exchanging them for better things would it be possible. And he didn't have much time, so he could only use this extreme method. There is indeed one question. Calming down, Zhu Sheng composed himself and said in a deep voice. Speak. Qin Chen immediately looked over. Although we killed Lu Cheng and occupied Willow Pavilion, if Willow Pavilion really has a relationship with the Zhu family, they will definitely come looking for trouble and will definitely take Willow Pavilion back, Zhu Sheng said solemnly. Take Willow Pavilion back. Qin Chen was taken aback. We've already killed Lu Cheng. What right does the Zhu family have to take it back? Are you saying that the 4 major powers can take back any shop in Marshall City? Qin Chen couldn't help but be puzzled. When the Zhou family and Zhu family clashed before, he was very clear that the Zhou family's goal was to seize a few shops from the Zhu family. But according to what Zhu Sheng was saying now, even if Lu Cheng was killed, the shop would still return to the hands of the 4 major powers. So what was the point of the Zhou family painstakingly dealing with the Zhu family? It's not that the 4 major powers can take back shops at will, but rather that any power that seizes the shops and other physical assets of another power must pay a transfer fee to Marshall City in order to obtain the official right of ownership. This transfer fee is generally 20% of the value of the physical assets. Moreover, normally speaking, Marshall City will not interfere with the transfer of shops between various powers. However, Willow Pavilion is different. Marshall City is originally controlled by the Zhu family and other 4 major powers. Once the Zhu family interferes, then our ownership of Willow Pavilion will definitely have problems. A 20% transfer fee. These 4 major powers really have a good plan. Hearing this, Qin Chen couldn't help but sneer. No wonder Marshall City was so chaotic, with various powers acting recklessly and no one to care. So there was such a thing. Any struggle between powers ultimately had to pay protection fees to the 4 major powers that controlled Marshall City. The 4 major powers that controlled Marshall City naturally welcomed this, and as long as the order of Marshall City was not disrupted, they definitely wished Marshall City would be more chaotic. Let's not worry about that for now. We'll talk about it when the Zhu family comes knocking. Here is a bottle of rank 3 true Qi pills. Take them out to sell first. Remember, make as much noise as possible. It's best to let the entire Marshall City know that we have rank 3 pills for sale. Qin Chen took out a bottle of true Qi pills and handed it to Zhu Sheng. Then, he said to Zhu Yan, "Now, take me to Lu Cheng's alchemy room. I need to seclude myself and refine some things." This time, Qin Chen didn't bring many rank 3 pills with him, so he had to refine some himself. Fortunately, after plundering Willow Pavilion and the Zhou family, he had a large number of rank 3 spiritual herbs on him, enough to refine many rank 3 pills. He even had quite a few rank 4 spiritual herbs. Holding the rank 3 true qi pills, Zhu Sheng stared blankly as Qin Chen hurried into Lu Cheng's alchemy room, even forgetting to ask about the price. After Qin Chen's previous commotion, although all the people had been driven out by Qin Chen, there was still a large number of people gathered outside Willow Pavilion, wanting to see how the situation would develop next. Among them, the number of people outside not only didn't decrease, but with the spread of the news, more and more people who received the news ran over to inquire and observe. It was just a pity that after Qin Chen and Zhu Sheng drove the people out, there was no movement at all, which was very disappointing. Therefore, when Zhu Sheng walked out again, and the plaque that originally said, Willow Pavilion, was replaced with, Number 1 Pill Pavilion, and it was announced that rank 3 pills were for sale, all the onlookers were instantly dumbfounded. In just half an incense stick's time, the entire martial city was completely shaken. The original pill shop of Willow Pavilion was changed to the domineering Number 1 Pill Pavilion, and true qi pills were for sale, and they were rank 3 true qi pills. This news instantly shocked the people of all major powers. Although the price of each rank 3 true qi pill was as high as 50,000 silver coins, it still couldn't resist the influx of people. In just half an hour, the entrance of the Number 1 Pill Pavilion's shop was already packed with people. Zhu Sheng quickly realized that his price was too low. A pill priced at 50,000 silver coins was unimaginable to a family like the Zhu family, but it was nothing to some of the major families in Martial City. Nothing could be more popular than treasures that could improve strength. Especially the bottle of rank 3 true qi pills that Qin Chen gave Zhu Sheng was a top-grade pill among rank 3 pills. Each pill had pill patterns on it, making it a rare and exquisite product. Before Zhu Sheng could sell a single true qi pill, the entrance of the Number 1 Pill Pavilion was already swamped by the influx of people. Some people even fought each other in order to squeeze to the front. "Everyone, listen to me, don't be chaotic, don't be chaotic." Zhu Sheng was covered in cold sweat. Although he was the head of the Zhu family, when had he ever seen such a big scene? The family forces of the most troublesome people were all more terrifying than his Zhu family. For a time, he was at a loss, completely not knowing what to do. "Everyone, anyone who dares to fight at the entrance of my Number 1 Pill Pavilion again will be permanently deprived of the right to purchase pills." In the end, Zhu Sheng had no choice. In desperation, he roared out loud, and the fighting among the crowd finally stopped. But even so, some people had already been injured as a result. Seeing the scene quiet down, Zhu Sheng, fearing that chaos would erupt again, hurriedly sold the 10 Tier 3 true qi pills. In just over 10 breaths, an income of 500,000 silver coins was already in hand. "Everyone, today's 10 true qi pills have been sold out. Please leave in an orderly manner and avoid chaos." Zhu Sheng's words immediately caused a commotion among the crowd. Some Heaven Stage martial artists, who had rushed over with great difficulty specifically to purchase true qi pills, were immediately anxious. "What's going on? They're sold out so quickly." "Yeah, we rushed over with great difficulty, but we didn't even see the shadow of the pills." "When will the next batch of true qi pills be sold?" The crowd's enthusiasm did not diminish at all, but instead became even more intense. In the long history of Martial City, this was the first pill pavilion to sell Tier 3 pills. Having finally seen such an opportunity, how could they not be nervous and concerned? "Everyone, I apologize, but I, Zhu, do not know the exact time of the next sale of Tier 3 pills. Please do not cause chaos, leave first, and wait for our notification." Zhu Sheng did not expect the situation to turn out like this. The pills were all sold out, but the crowd was still unwilling to disperse. The enthusiasm was simply too intense. But precisely because he was not clear about Qin Chen's plan, and did not know when Qin Chen would sell the pills next time, he could only say such ambiguous words. However, Zhu Sheng did not anticipate that his words would not only fail to disperse the crowd, but would instead further ignite people's dissatisfaction. What's going on? You said earlier that there were tier 3 pills for sale, but now you don't even have a set time. Aren't you just toying with us? Semicolon. Your number 1 pill pavilion is really bullying people too much. Semicolon. You destroyed Willow Pavilion and created the name number 1 pill pavilion, but why are you doing things so unkindly? Semicolon. The Zhu family is being too unreasonable. Semicolon. The crowd was like a pot that had exploded, causing even greater commotion. Some Heaven Stage martial artists, who had finally seen an opportunity to purchase tier 3 pills, were even more emotionally agitated, almost tearing down the number 1 pill pavilion. Just as Zhu Sheng was at a loss, Qin Chen came out and looked at Zhu Sheng speechlessly. Family head Zhu, you're not good at doing business. How did things become so chaotic? Semicolon. Young Master Chen, I don't know either. Zhu Sheng's face was full of depression, and he was also on the verge of tears. In any case, his Zhu family was also a leading family in Martial City, managing several shops and being very experienced. But just now, his so-called experience was completely useless. The people at the entrance were simply too crazy, determined not to leave without buying the pills, leaving him completely helpless. Let me handle it. Semicolon. Qin Chen knew that Zhu Sheng couldn't be blamed for this. In fact, he hadn't initially expected that a mere bottle of tier 3 true chi pills would cause such a sensation. Pushing Zhu Sheng aside, Qin Chen came to the entrance of the number 1 pill pavilion. Everyone, please be quiet. Semicolon. A loud voice, accompanied by a hint of astonishing artistic conception, spread far and wide. Qin Chen's voice contained a strong spiritual will, coupled with a hint of artistic conception unique to sword intent, causing everyone's minds to boom, as if struck by thunder, shaking their minds and forcing them to quiet down. Cupping his hands, Qin Chen glanced at the crowd filling the street and said loudly, "Everyone, friends, you should all know that this young master is not from Martial City. I simply couldn't stand Willow Pavilion's tyranny and evil deeds, so I took action to destroy them. Originally, according to this young master's character, after finishing the matter, I would definitely turn around and leave. But considering that Martial City lacks alchemists, and I also killed Lu Cheng, causing losses to everyone in Martial City, I decided to temporarily change Willow Pavilion into the number 1 pill pavilion, selling some tier 3 pills to compensate and give back to everyone in Martial City." Semicolon. I believe everyone has seen this young master's sincerity just now. If this young master really wanted to make money, the tier 3 superior true chi pills just now would definitely not have been priced at 50,000 silver coins each. Simply taking them to the auction at the Heavenly Star Merchant Association, any one of them would definitely be worth more than that price. Semicolon. This young master's purpose is to bring some benefits to everyone in Martial City, so I hope everyone can be quiet. If things get too out of hand, this young master would rather not have this number 1 pill pavilion and turn around and leave. I believe that with this young master's pills, not to mention in Martial City, I can thrive in any force in the Northwest 5 nations. Semicolon. Secondly, I also hope that everyone will not make things difficult for the Zhu family. The Zhu family is only running errands for this young master, and they cannot make decisions for this young master. It is useless for you to make things difficult for them. Semicolon. As soon as Qin Chen said this, the originally agitated crowd immediately quieted down, and no one dared to shout loudly again. Martial City had finally gotten a force that could sell tier 3 pills. If they drove people away because of their recklessness, they would have no place to cry. Seeing the scene quiet down, Zhu Sheng couldn't help but feel ashamed. It had to be said that this young master Chen was too strong. He had been shouting for a long time just now, and the scene was still noisy, but with his few words, it immediately became calm. This kind of ability is not something that ordinary young people can do. Seeing that everyone on the street had calmed down, Qin Chen nodded slightly, and in his heart, he was actually quite satisfied with the effect Zhu Sheng had created earlier. The reason why he didn't give Zhu Sheng the price of the pills at the beginning was because he didn't understand the market in Martial City, and also, his purpose was to create a sensation in Martial City, not to earn a lot of money. Although the price of 50,000 per pill was a bit low, causing a chaotic scene, the reputation was immediately established. Seeing that everyone is so enthusiastic, this young master also understands everyone's thirst for higher level pills. Please rest assured, since this young master opened this number 1 pill pavilion, naturally it's not just to sell a bottle of true Qi pills and be done with it. There will definitely be bigger deals next, but the sale of the following pills will probably not be like the true Qi pills, at 50,000 silver coins per pill. Semicolon. Is the price going to increase? Semicolon. I said, there's no such good thing as a tier 3 pill for 50,000 silver coins. Semicolon. Increasing the price after selling one bottle is too much, right? If the price is set at 100,000 silver coins per pill, what will we do? Semicolon. The crowd immediately exploded. The reason why they rushed here was because they heard that there were tier 3 pills for sale here, and the price was cheap. If the price suddenly increased to the normal level, even if they wanted to buy them, they wouldn't have the financial resources. For a moment, the crowd surged and clamored again, with anxiety on everyone's face. Qin Chen hurriedly waved his hand and said, "Don't worry, friends. Since our number 1 pill pavilion is here to give back to everyone, how could we casually raise prices? The upcoming 3rd grade pills will still be 50,000 silver coins apiece." Hearing Qin Chen's explanation, many people immediately breathed a sigh of relief, but there were still many shrewd people who continued to look at Qin Chen, because they knew that since Qin Chen had said this, there would definitely be more to come. Sure enough, before everyone could finish relaxing, Qin Chen added, "However, we need to change the way we sell them." What's the method of change? The crowd was stunned and all stared over. Previously, the pills we sold were 3rd grade true Qi pills. As everyone knows, 3rd grade true Qi pills are used to enhance the true Qi within a martial artist's body, so many spiritual herbs can be used to refine them. Therefore, we didn't charge for the cost of materials at the beginning, but what we are going to sell next are some special 3rd grade pills, such as the profound breaking pill and the heart condensing pill. Everyone knows that the reason why 3rd grade pills are scarce is because high-level alchemists are relatively rare, and another reason is the materials. If we sell profound breaking pills and heart condensing pills, our number 1 pill pavilion probably won't be able to sell them like true Qi pills, but will require everyone to provide their own materials. Qin Chen said loudly to the crowd. What? Profound breaking pill, heart condensing pill. Does your number 1 pill pavilion have these 2 kinds of pills? Isn't this a scam? Yeah. The profound breaking pill is a kind of pill that increases the probability of a martial artist breaking through, and the heart condensing pill is a kind of pill that enhances a martial artist's comprehension during cultivation. Both of these pills are extremely powerful among 3rd grade pills. Even the Heavenly Star Merchant Association doesn't auction them. Can the number 1 pill pavilion sell them? Hearing this, the crowd erupted again, almost going crazy. The point that everyone was concerned about was not whether to charge for materials, but whether the number 1 pill pavilion actually had these 2 kinds of pills for sale. You have to know that it's not like just because you have a 3rd grade alchemist, you can sell all kinds of 3rd grade pills. To refine each 3rd grade pill, you first need to obtain the pill formula and refining method, and then you need a 3rd grade alchemist to spend a long time refining and learning before you can succeed, and this time process varies depending on the difficulty of refining. The Heavenly Star Merchant Association is one of the 4 major forces in Martial City, and it has a partnership with a 3rd grade alchemist, but the 3rd grade pills they sell at auctions are only 1 or 2 kinds, so the choice is very limited. Now, hearing that the number 1 pill pavilion also has profound breaking pills and heart condensing pills for sale, how could they not be excited? These 2 kinds of pills are what every martial artist dreams of. Feeling the excitement and inquiries in the arena, Zhu Sheng couldn't help but sigh in admiration again. As expected of young Master Chen, when he found that his pricing was too low, he didn't directly raise the price, but cleverly increased the price by using the method of providing materials, and the increase was not just a little bit. Most importantly, in order to prevent everyone from questioning him, young Master Chen also took the opportunity to propose two kinds of pills, the profound breaking pill and the heart condensing pill, so that everyone's attention was focused on these two newly launched pills, and the previously secretly increased price of the pills was no longer noticed. Faced with everyone's doubts, Qin Chen smiled slightly and said, if I didn't have these two kinds of pills, how dare I open my mouth? With a flick of his right hand, two porcelain bottles immediately appeared in his hand. With a gentle tilt, two round pills fell into the sight of everyone. One of these two pills was light yellow, and the other was grayish-white. Both of them had clear pill patterns on them. As soon as they appeared, a rich medicinal fragrance emanated from the entrance of the number 1 pill pavilion. It really is the profound breaking pill and the heart condensing pill. My God! And both pills have pill patterns, at least they are top-grade pills. Pills of this level can maximize our cultivation without many sequelae. Hiss. No. I must buy a profound breaking pill. I've been stuck at the early stage of the heaven realm for many years and haven't been able to break through. If I have this profound breaking pill, plus a heart condensing pill, and preferably a true Qi pill, the probability of breaking through to the middle stage of the heaven realm will be at least 80%. The crowd was completely excited, everyone was going crazy. When these two kinds of pills really appeared in front of everyone, no one could resist their charm. Bring them to me. Even a roar came. A middle-aged man in black, with fiery eyes, could no longer restrain himself and rushed out of the crowd. He spread his hands, like a bat, turned into a black shadow, and rushed towards Qin Chen, about to snatch the two jade bottles in his hand. So fast, it's Black Bat King Li Zongbo. How dare this person be so bold? Is he trying to snatch the profound breaking pill and the heart condensing pill? Li Zongbo's cultivation has long reached the peak of the middle stage of the heaven realm. With these two bottles of pills, he might be able to step into the late stage of the heaven realm in one fell swoop. He's preparing to take a risk. Damn it, he got there first. The crowd exploded, all shocked. Martial City is extremely chaotic, and many of the martial artists are wanted criminals from various major forces in the Northwest 5 kingdoms. Each of them is ruthless and has done everything. As soon as Qin Chen took out the profound breaking pill and the heart condensing pill, he immediately attracted the covetousness of many bandits who couldn't help but take action to snatch them. Among them, Black Bat King Li Zongbo was the fastest, making many other martial artists with this idea secretly regret that they were too slow to act. However, Black Bat King Li Zongbo has always been cunning and excels in speed. Since he has taken action, then they will definitely not have a share. Under regret, everyone concentrated and watched as Li Zongbo's palm was about to grab the jade bottle in Qin Chen's hand. Suddenly, whoosh, the two pills in Qin Chen's hand had already been put away at some point, followed by a dazzling sword light that illuminated the world, filling Black Bat King Li Zongbo's eyes. What? Not good. Li Zongbo was shocked. He didn't expect Qin Chen to react so quickly. With a flash of his body, he was about to retreat. But it was too late. Poochie. The sword light passed through, and the protective true Qi on his body was like fragile paper, instantly shattered, followed by his entire body being divided into two in midair, with blood splattering everywhere. The surrounding crowd was afraid of being splashed by blood and scattered in fright, watching Yuan Zongbo's divided body fall to the ground, his eyes still wide open, full of horror and shock. Hiss. Gasps of cold air rose and fell in the arena, everyone's eyes were horrified, and each of them was shocked. Only then did the crowd realize that the young man in front of them seemed young, but he was not a kind person. This was a top master who had killed Grandmaster Lu Cheng of Pill Pavilion Lu and others. How dare they snatch pills in front of him? Wasn't this courting death? Previously, some people in Wu City who had heard of Qin Chen's deeds were, in fact, still somewhat skeptical. They didn't believe that a young man could have the ability to kill Lu Cheng and 6 of the top 3 experts. But at this moment, seeing the Black Bat King Yuan Zongbo being killed with a single sword strike, one by one, they no longer had the slightest doubt. Although the Black Bat King Yuan Zongbo was not a top expert in Wu City, he was also a well-known figure in Wu City, especially with his extremely fast movement technique. He had once safely escaped the pursuit of two late-stage peak heaven-level martial artists. But now, he was actually not the enemy of this young man's one sword. Just how terrifying was this child? In an instant, many people on the field who had harbored ill intentions all felt their hair stand on end, and cold sweat oozed from their backs. Fortunately, they hadn't acted rashly and stepped forward to attack, otherwise, the one who died would definitely have been themselves. They couldn't help but feel lingering fear and endless trepidation. Someone, dispose of this person's body. With a light shout and a wave of his hand, Qin Chen immediately had the Zhu family clean up Yuan Zongbo's body, and the blood was washed away with clean water. Gently stepping on the ground, an invisible wave instantly enveloped everyone present. Everyone only felt the true qi in their bodies stagnate slightly, and then return to normal. The surroundings returned to silence, as if it were an illusion. This is a formation. Wasn't Lu Ji's formation controlled by this young man so quickly? Hiss. This guy wasn't using his full strength just now. Feeling the formations lingering around them, the martial artists all over the street were once again doused with a bucket of cold water, and they no longer dared to be presumptuous. Everyone, my number one pill pavilion only wants to do business in peace and give back to the vast number of Wu City martial artists. If something like this happens again, my number one pill pavilion will stop selling pills and leave immediately. Qin Chen looked at everyone and said coldly. His thunderous killing just now was to deter everyone. Although he was not afraid, the Zhu family was still helping him, and if someone targeted the Zhu family, it would be easy for something to happen. After all, he couldn't protect the Zhu family at all times. Qin Chen was already considering whether to improve the Zhu family's cultivation. After all, the Zhu family was still helping him, and if their cultivation was too low, it wouldn't do. Sure enough, after this incident, the crowd immediately quieted down a lot. However, it was only quiet for a while before the crowd became noisy again. What if we don't have the materials for the profound breaking pill and the mind concentrating pill? Yes, the spiritual herbs needed to refine the profound breaking pill and the mind concentrating pill are very rare, and it's difficult for us to collect them all. To be honest, although I know about the profound breaking pill and the mind concentrating pill, I don't know at all what spiritual herbs are needed to refine these two pills, let alone provide the raw materials. The matter of the Black Bat King Li Zongbo was just a small episode, and everyone quickly refocused their attention on the sale of the pills. This was what they were most concerned about. Ha, everyone doesn't need to worry about this. Qin Chen smiled. I have also considered this point, so I have made a special adjustment to make it easier for everyone. The reason I asked everyone to prepare materials is not to say that they must be the materials for the profound breaking pill and the mind concentrating pill. For example, to refine a furnace of profound breaking pills, you need 1 tier 3 heaven piercing pearl, 2 tier 3 azure veined vermilion fruits, and more than a dozen tier 2 spiritual herbs. Everyone only needs to take out spiritual herbs of the same level, that is, a tier 3 high-grade spiritual herb, to obtain the qualification to purchase a profound breaking pill. As soon as Qin Chen said this, everyone immediately understood and breathed a sigh of relief. So that's what it was all about. It wasn't necessary to take out the materials for the profound breaking pill, as long as you had materials of the same level, you could get the purchase qualification. For a time, a big stone in everyone's hearts fell to the ground. To be honest, it was unusually difficult for them to search specifically for a certain material, and it was likely that very few people would obtain the purchase qualification. But if you only needed materials of the same level, it would be much easier. After all, Wu City was close to the profound heavy mountain range, and many martial artists were struggling in it. Putting aside other things, many heaven-level experts still had some tier 3 materials, and they might be able to take them out. But what if we don't have tier 3 spiritual herbs? Can we use other things? At this time, someone asked again. Of course, there's no problem. In fact, it's not just spiritual herbs, any treasures of the same level are fine, similar to true stones and other materials. But everyone needs to pay attention, we don't want secret manuals, martial arts, weapons, etc. Our number 1 pill pavilion only accepts special materials. However, although any material is fine, everyone must seize the time, after all, the number of pills is limited. If others have already exchanged them all, I'm afraid there won't be any left for others. As soon as Qin Chen said this, the originally relaxed crowd immediately became nervous again. That's right. Everyone lived in Wu City. If you could find tier 3 spiritual herbs, wouldn't others be able to as well? But the number of pills was limited. It was impossible for them to be endless. If everyone took out tier 3 spiritual herbs to exchange, and they took out too few at the beginning, losing the qualification to exchange, they would definitely regret it for the rest of their lives once the pills were exchanged. Originally, some people were thinking of taking out some tier 3 spiritual herbs casually to exchange for the purchase qualification, but now they couldn't help but become nervous. Alright, everyone understands the rules. Now, I will open the purchase qualification for these 2 bottles of profound breaking pills and mind concentrating pills. Please submit your materials, and I will choose the objects of the transaction. Seeing that the atmosphere had been reached, Qin Chen immediately took out the 2 bottles of pills again. Here, I would like to remind everyone that whoever takes out the most precious materials will get the purchase qualification sooner. If you can take out tier 4 spiritual herbs, then there's no need to say anything more. I'll sell the profound breaking pill to you first, and even if you want something other than the profound breaking pill, I'll sell you whatever pill you want. What? Besides true chi pills, profound breaking pills, and mind concentrating pills, can you sell other pills here? Someone had already asked in shock. Qin Chen smiled slightly and said, that's natural, as long as it's a tier 3 pill, we can sell it here, whether it's a tier 3 detoxification pill, meridian unblocking pill, chi transformation pill, or fire spirit pill, as long as you can take out the materials, I can refine them into pills for you. However, refining these pills will take some time. You may only be able to get the pills the day after you take out the materials. Qin Chen came here to search for various materials, so he naturally didn't want to keep a low profile. Moreover, although he understood that this would offend some forces, as long as he had enough materials, refined the Heart Lotus pill, and removed the 100 Ghost Curse, he wouldn't be afraid even if he offended the 4 most powerful forces in Wu City. Let's not talk about these for now, let's start selling these 2 bottles of pills. As soon as Qin Chen's voice fell, the crowd became agitated. I'll offer a tier 3 purple sunflower to purchase the profound breaking pill. I'll offer a tier 3 alfalfa seed to purchase the mind concentrating pill. I have a piece of tier 3 star stone, I want to purchase the mind concentrating pill. Everyone, get out of the way, I'll offer a tier 4 heavenly star grass, I want to purchase 1 profound breaking pill and 1 mind concentrating pill. For a time, all kinds of quotations were endless, it was almost about to explode. Zhu Sheng and the others were completely dumbfounded. At this moment, the crowd surged, with many people rushing forward, waving various materials in their hands, making it impossible to maintain order. With just the Zhu family's manpower, it was simply not enough. Fortunately, these people, in order to purchase the Po Shuen pills and Ning Xin pills, although competing with each other, were only physically resisting, and no real conflict occurred. Qin Chen couldn't help but gasp when he saw the fiery scene before him. What shocked him was not the enthusiasm of the crowd, but that from the beginning, someone was willing to take out 4th level materials to buy these 2 kinds of pills. And what they took out was actually heavenly star grass. This was 4th level heavenly star grass. Even among 4th level spiritual herbs, it was an extremely rare kind. Moreover, heavenly star grass was one of the main ingredients of the 4th level heavenly star pill. Adding 2 kinds of auxiliary materials and some other low-level spiritual herbs, it could completely refine a furnace of heavenly star pills. The heavenly star pill is a kind of pill that can condense a martial artist's true energy. When I want to break through to the 4th level Shuen level in the future, it will definitely come in handy. Unable to contain his surprise, Qin Chen hurriedly said to Zhu Sheng, Patriarch Zhu, exchange for the 4th level heavenly star grass first. The martial artist who took out the heavenly star grass was immediately very excited. He hurriedly stepped forward, took the 4th level heavenly star grass, plus 100,000 silver coins, and bought a Po Shuen pill and a Ning Xin pill respectively, and then left happily. He had discovered this 4th level heavenly star grass not long ago in a valley in the Xuanzheng mountain range. For this heavenly star grass, he almost lost his life. After returning, he also checked the effects of the heavenly star grass and knew that it was a very precious spiritual herb. However, there were very few third-rank alchemists in Wucheng, let alone fourth-rank alchemists. Here, the heavenly star grass could not be sold for a normal price at all. In fact, if Qin Chen hadn't appeared, he had already decided to put this fourth-level heavenly star grass up for auction at the semi-annual medium-sized auction held by the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce in a few days. But now, the appearance of the Po Xuan pill and Ning Xin pill immediately made him change his mind. With his cultivation, with this Po Xuan pill and Ning Xin pill, it might be possible to improve his strength by another level. This was not something that could be compared to the silver coins auctioned off. Seeing that someone had exchanged fourth-level spiritual herbs for 2 pills, some impatient martial artists couldn't help but hold back and took out the fourth-level spiritual herbs they had on them. Qin Chen was naturally overjoyed and immediately ordered Zhu Sheng to call up the martial artists who took out fourth-level spiritual herbs and materials to obtain the qualification to purchase. These martial artists were very excited and did not hesitate. Like the previous person, they bought 1 Po Xuan pill and 1 Ning Xin pill, and left happily. This greatly stimulated the other martial artists who had not yet purchased the pills. Now, on the street outside the first pill pavilion, there were at least 1,000 people swarming, and each bottle of these 2 pills only had 10 pills. In the blink of an eye, half of them were gone, making the other martial artists who wanted to buy these 2 pills anxious. What if these 2 bottles of pills were sold out all at once? What would they do? Although Qin Chen said that there would be pills for sale in the future, what if there weren't any? No. I must buy it this time. Thinking of this, the remaining people, as long as they had fourth-level materials on them, no longer cared about hiding them and took them all out, clamoring to obtain the qualification to purchase the Po Xuan pill and Ning Xin pill. This scene made Qin Chen excited and dumbfounded. It seems that the wealth of the martial artists in Wucheng is far beyond my imagination. But thinking about it, what kind of people live here? They are all martial artists who live a life of licking blood from the edge of a knife. Many of them are wanted criminals from the major forces of the Northwest 5 kingdoms. Many of the treasures on their bodies may have been snatched from somewhere, or obtained through some unclean channels. For them, what fourth-level spiritual herbs, what fourth-level treasures, are nothing. Only by exchanging these treasures for pills and weapons that can improve their strength is it truly valuable. So when Qin Chen had pills that could improve their strength for sale, almost no one could resist it. In just a moment, the 2 bottles of 20 pills were sold out, completely empty. And Qin Chen had 10 more fourth-level materials in his hand. Among them, 6 were spiritual herbs, and the other 4 were rare materials for refining weapons and formations. Seeing that the 2 bottles of pills were sold out so quickly, many people who had not bought the pills felt a sinking feeling in their hearts. It hasn't even been sold much yet. It's actually sold out. With such popularity, after the news spreads, there will definitely be more martial artists coming. At that time, even if the first pill pavilion continues to sell pills, they may not be able to obtain the qualification to purchase. For a time, everyone's heart was heavy. And those martial artists who later took out fourth-level materials but did not obtain the qualification to purchase were even more tearful. Just because they took out the fourth-level spiritual herbs a little later, they lost the qualification to purchase. Why are they so idiotic? They hated it in their hearts. If they had known this, they would have taken out the materials at the first time. Now it's good, the pills are gone. What are you going to do with these fourth-level materials? Just as they were annoyed, they heard Qin Chen's loud voice ringing again. Everyone, I really didn't expect these pills to be so popular. Since I intend to give back to the martial artists of Wucheng, I won't hide it anymore. I still have a few bottles of Po Xuan pills and Ning Xin pills here. I originally planned to use them for my own cultivation, but now I'll take them out for sale to relieve the urgent need. As soon as he said this, all the martial artists in the audience were about to cry. Benefactor. Look. What is a good person? This is a truly good person. For the sake of these people, he even took out his own cultivation pills for sale. Compared to the previous Lu Pavilion, it's like heaven and earth. Boom. The The audience was instantly detonated again, with countless people waving high-level spiritual herbs and rushing up frantically, fearing that they would lose the opportunity. Everyone, don't rush, come one by one. Qin Chen immediately ordered Zhu Sheng to exchange them, but he was extremely excited in his heart. He wasn't really taking out his own cultivation pills, but he saw that there were too many high-level materials on the field and couldn't bear to let them go. In less than a quarter of an hour, almost all the martial artists who could take out fourth-level materials had exchanged them. Some of the remaining martial artists who took out better third-level materials also obtained the qualification to exchange. Even so, there were still many people who watched helplessly as several bottles of pills were exchanged, but they still didn't have the qualification to exchange. They hated it in their hearts and secretly made up their minds that they must find a way to get some high-level materials when they go back. What are you doing? What's going on here? Get out of the way! All of you get out of the way! Just then, a furious shout rang out, and the crowd on the outside dispersed, and a group of martial artists with extraordinary momentum walked in aggressively. The leader was Zhu's steward, who was ordered by the second master Zhu Hongjian to take back the Lu Pavilion and prepare to teach Qin Chen a good lesson. The Zhu family, as one of the four major forces in Wucheng, was accustomed to acting tyrannically. Seeing so many people gathered at the entrance of the Lu Pavilion, they didn't bother to ask the reason. Led by the Zhu family's steward, they barged in. What are you doing? Why are you pushing? Do you understand the rules? Do you know what first come, first served means? The Zhu family pushed from behind, and the people in front were immediately unhappy. Without even seeing who was coming, they directly cursed loudly. For them, the position in front was crucial. They might get a chance to exchange for pills, so naturally, they were unwilling to give way. Who are you talking about? Are you all rebelling? The Zhu family's steward's face immediately darkened. As the Zhu family's steward, when had he ever been spoken to like this? A cold aura instantly spread out. Hearing the coldness in the voice and the terrifying aura, the crowd turned their heads one after another. Seeing the faces of the people who had arrived, they were immediately frightened, their faces turned pale, their scalps went numb, and they retreated. Immediately, a huge open space was created. Then, everyone nervously looked at Qin Chen, knowing that he was going to be in trouble. Everyone knew where Qin Chen's number 1 pill pavilion came from. It was the shop obtained after destroying the Lu Pavilion. And the Lu Pavilion, it was said, had a good relationship with the Zhu family. After the Zhu family received the news, they would definitely come to support the Lu Pavilion. Unexpectedly, the Zhu family had actually come. Everyone felt extremely uneasy for Qin Chen. In fact, these people originally came here to watch the excitement, hoping that the Zhu family would appear. But now, the situation was different. Wucheng had finally found a place to buy Tier 3 pills. If it was destroyed by the Zhu family, where would they buy pills in the future? Wasn't this taking their lives? To be honest, at this moment, many martial artists present were more nervous than Qin Chen. Of course, Zhu Sheng and others were also nervous, their legs softened, and their eyes revealed panic. Having been in Wucheng for so many years, they naturally recognized the Zhu family's steward. Steward Zhu Zun, what wind has brought you here? With a smile on his face, he couldn't help but step forward and ask. At the same time, he transmitted his voice to Qin Chen. Young Master Chen, this person is named Zhu Zun. He is the steward of the Zhu family. He must have come to make trouble for us because of the Lu Pavilion's matter. Don't be impulsive later. HMPH. Zhu Sheng, how dare you act recklessly in Wucheng, killing people wantonly. Without further ado, immediately close the Lu Pavilion, obediently confess your guilt, and come with us to the heavenly prison. Zhu Zun didn't beat around the bush, and sneered as soon as he came, looking at Qin Chen and Zhu Sheng with disdain. Hee, Steward Zhu Zun, I don't understand what you're talking about. Zhu Sheng said with a smile on his face, explaining, this Lu Pavilion, in order to seize my Zhu family's property, actually colluded with the Zhou family and secretly framed my Zhu family. We were forced to defend ourselves, it was really helpless, and besides our Zhu family, many martial artists in Wucheng have been cheated by this Lu Cheng. We are also upholding justice. But don't worry, although our Zhu family has taken down the Lu Pavilion, our purpose is to give back to the many martial artists in Wucheng, and the taxes that should be paid to the four major forces will definitely not be less. Zhu Zun's face turned cold. What Lu Pavilion has done, how can you decide with your own words? Zhu Sheng, if you know what's good for you, come with us to the heavenly prison immediately. If the reason is clarified, and it is as you said, we will naturally let you out. And this kid, who exactly is he? A foreigner, also causing trouble in my Wucheng, come with us too. Obediently come with us, otherwise, don't blame us for not being polite. Hearing this, Zhu Sheng's heart sank. It seemed that the Zhu family had no intention of letting them go at all, and had no intention of following normal procedures. What kind of place was Wucheng's heavenly prison? It could be said to be the private prison of the four major forces. Could the people who were taken in have good days? It was impossible to walk out alive. He hurriedly wanted to say something, but saw Qin Chen's face darken, and he said coldly, Zhu family head, where did this guy come from? Why are you talking nonsense with them? Immediately let them get out, don't affect our number one pill pavilion's business. As soon as Qin Chen said this, all the martial artists in the audience staggered. One by one, their eyes widened and they were almost crazy. Zhu Sheng was about to cry. Young Master Chen, this is the Zhu family, one of the four major forces in Wucheng. Is it really okay for you to talk like this? You've created trouble even when there was nothing wrong. Sure enough, after hearing Qin Chen's words, Zhu Zun was so angry that he was about to explode. As the steward of the Zhu family, he was usually respectful to any force he went to, calling him Master Zhu, but this guy was so arrogant, it was simply outrageous. If he didn't show him some color, this person probably wouldn't know what the sky in Wucheng was like. Come on, take them down for me, and if they resist, kill them without mercy. With a loud roar, Zhu Zun was completely furious, looking at Qin Chen with cold eyes, full of killing intent. Behind him, a large group of martial artists took a step forward together, and the sound of swords being drawn rose and fell, converging into an amazing aura, soaring into the sky. Knowing that Qin Chen's battle record was terrifying, Zhu Zun brought 5 late-stage peak heaven-level experts this time. In addition, there were also many mid-stage heaven-level experts. He didn't believe that he couldn't take down even this one young man. Zhu Sheng's face turned pale, and he was panicked. It's over, this time we're done for. He had been in Wucheng for many years, so he naturally knew that the Zhu family's strength was more than what he could see in front of him. Which of the four major forces that had been sitting in Wucheng for so many years didn't have profound-level experts? And there was definitely more than one. Even if young Master Chen was strong, how could he be a match for the Zhu family? Steward Zhu Zun, let's talk nicely. He couldn't help but step forward to explain. Zhu Sheng, don't say anything. Qin Chen snorted coldly, and then said to the crowd on the street, everyone, my number one pill pavilion, came to Wucheng with the purpose of eliminating violence and bringing peace, and giving back to the vast number of Wucheng martial artists. Since Wucheng doesn't welcome me, Qin, then it doesn't matter, these few wastes can't stop this young master, but the regret is that my number one pill pavilion is probably going to close down. Speaking of this, a trace of helplessness appeared on Qin Chen's face, and he sighed. Originally, tomorrow, in addition to the profound breaking pill and the mind concentrating pill, my number one pill pavilion was also preparing to launch the profound charging pill and the strength concentrating pill. If we could bring enough materials, we were even preparing to launch the tier 4 true strength pill, but now it seems that there is no hope. As Qin Chen spoke, he kept shaking his head, looking very regretful. Boom! The martial artists on the entire street, after hearing his words, were instantly like an oil pan that had been ignited, exploding with a bang. What? Chongshuan pill, Ningli pill, and a rank 4 true Qi pill. Is this all real? The crowd completely exploded. The noisy roar soared into the sky, shaking the clouds in the sky until they scattered. Everyone widened their eyes, their minds shaken, unable to calm down. Although the Chongshuan pill and Ningli pill, like the Pokshuan pill and Ningxin pill, are both rank 3 pills, the difference in their effects is too great. They are simply not on the same level. In fact, The Pokshuan pill and Ningxin pill can only be considered mid-tier among rank 3 pills, or barely entering the mid-high tier. But the Chongshuan pill and Ningli pill are different. They are definitely peak rank 3 pills, even with the faint title of half-step rank 4. This can be clearly seen from the effects of the two. The effects of the Pokshuan pill and Ningxin pill are to increase the chances of a martial artist breaking through and to improve their comprehension during cultivation, but this effect only applies to martial artists below the late stage peak of the heaven realm. However, the Chongshuan pill and Ningli pill are different, as can be seen from the names. The effect of the Chongshuan pill is to give a late-stage heaven realm martial artist a 20% chance to break through to the fourth-order mysterious realm, and this probability will not decrease with the strength of the martial artist's own cultivation. In other words, a late-stage heaven realm martial artist who originally had no chance of breaking through to the fourth-order mysterious realm will have a 20% chance of success once they take the Chongshuan pill, while a martial artist who originally had an 80% chance of breaking through to the mysterious realm will see their probability soar directly to 100%. This has a huge attraction for any late-stage heaven realm martial artist, almost like a drug. The Ningli pill is the same. Its effect is to give a late-stage heaven realm martial artist a certain chance to condense a mouthful of true force. The most important thing for a martial artist to break through from the heaven realm to the mysterious realm is the transformation of true qi into true force in the body. This process is very complex and difficult. Many people fail to break through to the mysterious realm because they are stuck at this stage. However, once a mouthful of true force is condensed in the body during the late stage of the heaven realm, not only will the combat power be greatly improved, but it will also be easier to break through to the mysterious realm in the future, greatly increasing the probability of success. It can be said that once these two pills are released, it is impossible for any heaven realm martial artist not to be tempted. As for the rank 4 true force pill, there is no need to say more. Rank 4 pills are of great help to mysterious realm martial artists, and even mysterious realm martial artists will be envious of them. Therefore, when Qin Chen said these 3 pills, all the martial artists on the street went crazy. Steward Zhu Zun, although the Zhu family is one of the 4 major forces in my martial city, I have to say that what you did today is too much. From the crowd, someone suddenly shouted, "Who? Step forward for me." Zhu Zun turned his head and glared at the center of the crowd, his eyes filled with killing intent. He didn't know what had happened before, so naturally he couldn't understand why the crowd was so agitated after Qin Chen said those words. He had heard of the Chongshuan pill and Ningli pill, but for the first pill pavilion to say that they could sell such pills was simply a joke. Even the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce, one of the 4 major forces in Martial City, could not obtain such pills. Could the Zhu family and this young man sell them? What a joke. Therefore, in Zhu Zun's view, Qin Chen was just talking nonsense, trying to confuse the public and prolong his life. However, what he didn't expect was that the reaction of the crowd far exceeded his expectations. The Zhu family is too domineering. We are just telling the truth. What? Do you want to kill us all? The person who spoke earlier did not appear, but a cold snort came from another corner. That's right. That Lu Pavilion has been harming the martial artists of our martial city for years. Finally, Master Qin appeared, eliminating evil and promoting good, not only destroying the Lu Pavilion, but also bringing blessings to our martial city. Is this what the Zhu family does? HMPH. I heard that the Lu Pavilion and the Zhu family have a very close relationship. Maybe everything the Lu Pavilion did was instructed by the Zhu family. Very likely. Otherwise, where would the Lu family get the courage to harm so many forces and families? What kind of Zhu family is this? They are simply a vampire. Today, they even want to harm the first pill pavilion. We will never agree. Yes, we don't agree. The crowd exploded, and angry voices came from various locations in the crowd, arousing everyone's emotions. What nonsense are you talking about? If you have the ability, step forward for this old man. Steward Zhu Zun trembled with anger, leading his subordinates to search the crowd. However, those few people were very well hidden, and they stopped speaking after saying a word, making it impossible to trace their origin. What? Is the Zhu family preparing to silence us? It is better to prevent the people's mouths than to prevent a river. The Zhu family is powerful, you can block our mouths, but can you block the mouths of all the martial artists in Martial City? From the beginning, without asking right or wrong, you wanted to take Master Qin away, completely ignoring who is right and who is wrong. It can be seen that the Zhu family has long wanted to harm the First Pill Pavilion. HMPH. Maybe this Zhu family knows that Master Qin is seeking benefits for the martial artists of our Martial City, and wants to take Master Qin back and imprison him privately, only to serve his Zhu family. Too despicable. How can there be such a force? So shameless. Those few people spoke again, hiding in the crowd and stirring up emotions. However, it must be admitted that what they said was very reasonable, penetrating and convincing. All the people on the street looked at Zhu Zun and others with ugly faces, their eyes revealing anger. Over the years, how many forces had the Lu Pavilion harmed in Martial City, but the Zhu family had never appeared, but instead colluded with them, acting as accomplices. Now, the First Pill Pavilion had finally appeared, selling rank 3 pills at such a low price, but the Zhu family could not wait to jump out, and without asking right or wrong, they wanted to take people back. The attitude in this was chilling. 1 person stood up, 10 people stood up, 100 people stood up. In the end, 1,000 people stood up. For a time, the street was full of noise, and many martial artists present all spoke out angrily, accusing the Zhu family, their expressions furious. Which of the many martial artists in Martial City were not living a life of licking blood from the edge of a knife, putting their heads on their waistbands? When they woke up in the morning, they didn't even know if they could live to see tomorrow. As one of the 4 major forces, the Zhu family, if they were to confront them alone, no one would have the courage, but so many people speaking out together aroused all the anger in their hearts. Get out of here. If the Zhu family dares to touch the First Pill Pavilion today, we will level the Zhu family. What 4 major forces? They are simply a bunch of vampires. Among the crowd, there were even many people who had been oppressed by the 4 major forces. At this time, bursts of anger all erupted. You have a lot of nerve. Faced with the accusations of the crowd, Zhu Zun trembled with anger, wishing he could chop everyone into pieces right then and there. But when he raised his head and felt the overwhelming rage, his face turned pale and his heart grew weak. There were simply too many martial artists in front of him. As things escalated, the crowd gathered here had exceeded several thousand, almost 10,000. With so many martial artists denouncing him in unison, the aura was enough to make anyone's heart pound. In front of the First Pill Pavilion, Zhu Shun gasped, glancing at Qin Chen in horror. He didn't expect that a single sentence from young Master Chen could trigger such a scene. Young Master Chen had only been in Wucheng for less than a day, yet his ability to turn clouds into rain and rain into clouds was truly terrifying and astonishing. On the high platform, Qin Chen sneered inwardly. If the Zhu family wanted to deal with him, how could they not pay a price? As for offending the Zhu family, he didn't care at all. If you want to make money in a place like Wucheng, being honest and afraid of causing trouble is simply impossible. Moreover, he also knew that only by being high profile, the most high profile, could the best things come to him. Although being high profile would attract deadly disasters, Qin Chen couldn't care less. What he lacked were these rare materials. As long as he had enough materials and his strength improved, who in Wucheng could do anything to him? However, he also owed the good results this time to them. Qin Chen glanced at the members of the Gale Adventurer team in the crowd. Zhu Zun and the others failed to find the people who had started the trouble, but with Qin Chen's soul power, he could naturally see that the few who had spoken up first were precisely these members of the Gale Adventurer team. The fact that they were able to repay kindness, even at the risk, was something Qin Chen quite admired. Have you all rebelled? Faced with the angry gazes of so many people, Zhu Zun was about to explode with anger. Master Zhu had finally entrusted him with a task, but he had turned it into this mess. How would he explain it when he returned? Clang! Drawing his long sword, Zhu Zun pointed it at the crowd in front of him and roared, "Dare to utter another word, and I'll take you all away and throw you into the dungeon. Execute you one by one." It would have been better if Zhu Zun hadn't said those words. Once he did, it was like throwing a bombshell into the crowd, causing a complete explosion. Wucheng is not the Zhu family's world. You can't just do whatever you want. Try attacking if you dare. There are so many of us. We don't believe you can capture every single one of us. If he dares to attack, we'll fight him to the death. Damn it. Death is inevitable. Who's afraid of whom? If you were to ask which place in the Northwest Five Kingdoms had the most desperate people, Wucheng would be second to none. Zhu Zun's arrogant words naturally further ignited the anger in everyone's hearts. They swarmed forward one after another. Bold. Seeing the urgency of the situation, the 5 heaven-rank late-stage peak experts beside manager Zhu Zun hurriedly stood out, unleashing a terrifying aura that heavily suppressed the group of martial artists at the forefront. 5 great heaven-rank late-stage peak martial artists, this was an astonishing force. Their powerful true energy combined to form a violent storm. Manager Zhu Zun, enough. This first pill pavilion destroyed the villainous Lu Pavilion and is now giving back to the martial artists of Wucheng. Everyone has seen this. Although your Zhu family has power and can kill many people, you can't possibly kill everyone here, right? Just then, a cold voice came, followed by an old man wearing a black martial robe with a blood-colored eagle embroidered on his chest, walking out from the crowd. This man was thin and withered, his hands were like eagle claws, and he wore a battle blade at his waist. His eyes were sunken in their sockets, and he had a thunderous aura that suppressed everything. In front of him, the originally imposing 5 heaven-rank late-stage peak experts of the Zhu family were plainly dwarfed. It's Blood Eagle Saber Zhao Tianleng. A cry of surprise came from the crowd. Zhao Tianleng, do you also want to interfere in this matter? Zhu Zun's face sank, becoming very unsightly. Blood Eagle Saber Zhao Tianleng was one of the most famous rogue martial artists in Wucheng. His cultivation was terrifying, reaching the early peak of the profound rank, and his Blood Eagle Saber technique was superb. Moreover, this person's methods were cruel and his killing intent was extremely heavy. More than 10 years ago, when he first came to Wucheng, he had a conflict with a mid-level family in Wucheng over a small matter. That family was much stronger than the Zhu family and had a profound rank early-stage martial artist guarding it. They immediately declared that they would make it impossible for Zhao Tianleng to gain a foothold in Wucheng and sent experts to besiege him. Unexpectedly, Zhao Tianleng not only killed the 10 or so experts of that family who had besieged him but also broke into the other party's mansion alone, launching a massacre and killing all the hundreds of people in the entire family, leaving no one alive. This caused a huge sensation. Zhao Tianleng's ruthless and vengeful character also frightened many families in Wucheng. Even forces like the 4 great powers would not easily provoke such a person. After all, if they provoked such a person and could not kill him immediately, the top experts of the 4 great powers would naturally be fine, but the members of their own forces would probably be in danger. Zhu Zun, Zhao, will naturally not oppose the Zhu family, but Wucheng is, after all, the Wucheng of the 4 great powers, and it is also the Wucheng of all martial artists. It is not a place where any force can do whatever it wants. Glancing at Zhao Tianleng and the many martial artists, and then glaring fiercely at Qin Chen, Zhu Zun knew that it was almost impossible for him to touch the other party today. Rather than continuing to embarrass himself here, he might as well go back first, find out why these people were acting like this, and then make a decision. Let's go. With a wave of his hand, manager Zhu Zun immediately led the Zhu family's group of experts away in disgrace. Thank you all for your righteous words. Tomorrow, our first pill pavilion will continue to open its doors to welcome guests. Of course, the promises I made earlier will naturally be fulfilled. Tomorrow, not only will there be profound breaking pills and mind concentrating pills, but there will also be profound charging pills and strength concentrating pills for sale. Qin Chen cupped his hands at the crowd and nodded at Blood Eagle Saber Zhao Tianleng. From Zhu Sheng, he also learned about Zhao Tianleng's identity and background. He didn't expect that even a profound rank martial artist had set his sights on his shop. You just said you can refine 4th grade true strength pills. Zhao Tianleng ignored Zhu Zun and the others who were leaving and walked directly to Qin Chen, asking coldly. Qin Chen thought to himself, as expected, profound rank martial artists would not take the initiative to help without benefits. Although his mental strength was only at the peak of the 3rd rank, with the myriad god arts control over mental strength, as well as his powerful soul power and his experience from his previous life, refining 4th grade true strength pills was no longer a problem at all. The Blood Shadow Mad Blade Zhao Tianleng in front of him was a profound level martial artist, so naturally he had no need for elixirs like the Chongshuan pill and the Ningli pill. What he was looking for was definitely a 4th grade elixir. That's right. I can refine 4th grade true force pills, Qin Chen said without hesitation. However, I think your excellency's visit shouldn't be for the true force pill, right? Semicolon. What do you mean? Blood Shadow Mad Blade Zhao Tianleng's eyes narrowed, and a sharp killing intent burst out from his eyes, fiercely suppressing Qin Chen. This killing intent was extremely terrifying, as if countless sharp blades were rotating around Qin Chen, ready to stab down at any moment. Qin Chen smiled faintly, his expression calm and indifferent, and he didn't feel anything under the suppression of this aura. What a joke! He was someone who could even kill a profound-level elder of the Ghost Immortal sect, so naturally he wouldn't be frightened by the Blood Shadow Mad Blade's aura. Interesting. Semicolon. Seeing Qin Chen remain unchanged under his gaze, Zhao Tianleng couldn't help but be secretly surprised. He withdrew his aura and said in a deep voice, "The thing I want to refine is indeed not a true force pill. I heard earlier that your number 1 pill pavilion can refine any elixir that anyone wants to refine. So, can you refine the 4th grade Qin pill?" Semicolon. Qin Chen thought to himself, as expected. From the moment the other party arrived, he had keenly sensed that the Blood Shadow Mad Blade Zhao Tianleng's aura was a little off. It was obvious that he had suffered a qi deviation during his cultivation, causing his aura to be disordered and his meridians to be damaged. Fortunately, the other party's qi deviation was not very serious, so he couldn't see anything particularly abnormal at the moment. However, if he ignored it, then as the inner demon invaded, the injuries on the other party's body would become more and more serious, until his consciousness dissipated and he exploded and died. And the 4th grade Qin pill is a kind of elixir that can remove inner demons and purify consciousness. This Blood Shadow Mad Blade Zhao Tianleng obviously wanted to use the 4th grade Qin pill to remove his inner demon. I can indeed refine the Qin pill, Qin Chen said. Hearing this, a hint of ecstasy immediately appeared on Blood Shadow Mad Blade's face. Are you serious? Semicolon. Do I need to lie to you? However, the Qin pill can be refined, but its materials are not easy to find. Qin Chen said calmly. The most important thing for refining the 4th grade Qin pill is the main ingredient, the 4th order Qin flower. This is a 4th order spiritual herb that grows in a special environment, and its quantity is very scarce. If this Blood Shadow Mad Blade didn't have the Qin flower, Qin Chen would have no way to do it. If he really took out the Qin flower, it wouldn't be impossible to help the other party refine a batch. Blood Shadow Mad Blade didn't say a word, directly took out a jade box and a pile of materials and placed them in front of Qin Chen, and said, "This is a 4th order Qin flower, as well as other auxiliary medicines for refining the Qin pill. I will come to get the elixir tomorrow." Semicolon. Qin Chen opened the jade box and found that there was indeed a Qin flower inside, and immediately nodded and said, "No problem, but the success rate of the Qin pill is relatively low. I can only give you 2 pills at most tomorrow, and the refining fee for a 4th grade elixir is 300,000 silver coins, plus a 4th order material." Semicolon. No problem. Blood Shadow Mad Blade immediately took out 2 more jade boxes and a stack of silver notes. Here are 600,000 silver coins, plus 2 4th order materials, but when Qin Chen accepted the things, Blood Shadow Mad Blade looked at Qin Chen coldly. "If you can't refine the Qin pill, tell me earlier, and I will turn around and leave immediately. But if you take my things, but can't produce the elixir tomorrow, you should know the consequences." Semicolon. Come and get the medicine on time tomorrow morning. Semicolon. After receiving the materials, Qin Chen said indifferently. Good. Hearing Qin Chen say this, Blood Shadow Mad Blade glanced at Qin Chen coldly. After giving the things, he turned around and left, without saying a word of nonsense. Obviously, he was not afraid that Qin Chen would take the things and run away. Qin Chen put away the things and sighed in his heart. Wucheng is indeed full of treasures. He immediately obtained several Qin Chen pills, as well as 2 kinds of fourth-order materials, and 600,000 silver coins. Although the success rate of the Qin Chen pill is low, with his strength, at least 6 to 9 pills can be produced in one batch, which means that he can earn at least 4 Qin Chen pills. And the 4th-grade Qin Chen pill, in addition to having the effect of removing inner demons, can also make the martial artist's thoughts more clear. When cultivating, it is like adding wings to a tiger, and thinking is more agile, which is also of great use to him. However, Qin Chen understood that he still had to be careful. Since he could attract the Blood Shadow Mad Blade, he would definitely attract other profound-level martial artists. If it was a profound-level early-stage martial artist, Qin Chen would naturally not be afraid, but once he attracted a profound-level mid-stage martial artist, it would be a bit troublesome. What's more, in a place like Wucheng, there might even be profound-level late-stage martial artists. Once a profound-level late-stage martial artist wanted to attack him, there would be no second option but to run. After the Blood Shadow Mad Blade left, Qin Chen closed the door of the number 1 pill pavilion and began to sort out today's gains. In just over an hour, he had earned more than 3 million silver coins, and also had more than 30 kinds of 4th-order materials and nearly 20 kinds of 3rd-order materials, all of which were extremely rare materials on weekdays. On the side, Zhu Sheng and the others were completely dumbfounded. How many years would it take for their Zhu family to earn so many treasures? But in young Master Chen's hands, he did it in just 1 hour. However, they also understood that young Master Chen also paid the price of more than 43rd-grade elixirs. This was not something that ordinary forces could take out. Zhu Sheng and the others were amazed, and Qin Chen was also quite excited. Among so many materials, there were several that were exactly the auxiliary medicines for the Xinlian pill. It could be said that only 1 or 2 more medicines were needed, and the refining materials for the Xinlian pill would be almost completely collected. The only thing that made him regret was that among these materials, there was not a single sacred material that could remove the 100-ghost curse on his body. Here are some elixirs, you can take them and cultivate. After cleaning up the materials, Qin Chen took out some jade bottles and handed them to Zhu Sheng. This is. Zhu Sheng looked puzzled, opened the jade bottle, and was immediately stunned. In the jade bottle, there were the Poxuan pill and Ningxin pill that were sold today. Zhu Sheng was very clear that these elixirs were precious, and any one of them was almost priceless. He hurriedly waved his hand. Young Master Chen, no, this is really too precious. If I tell you to accept it, then accept it. Your current strength is too weak. It is best to improve your cultivation as much as possible. Also, take some of the original elixirs from Willow Pavilion and send them to the Mad Wind exploration team. Qin Chen was very clear that he would leave Wucheng in a short time. He had made things so big now. If Zhu Sheng and the others didn't have enough strength, once he left, they would likely be liquidated. He naturally couldn't do such a thing. These elixirs were extremely precious to Zhu Sheng and the others, but to Qin Chen, they were nothing. As for Lu Cheng's elixirs from Willow Pavilion, in Qin Chen's opinion, they were simply trash. At this time, as the crowd dispersed, the things that happened in the number 1 pill pavilion spread like a gust of wind, instantly spreading throughout the entire Wucheng. In an instant, almost everyone knew that in the original location of Willow Pavilion, there was a force called number 1 pill pavilion, which had 3rd-grade elixirs for sale, and could even refine 4th-grade elixirs. This news immediately caused a huge sensation in Wucheng. A 4th-grade pill. This was the first time such a thing had appeared in Wu City's history. Even at the Heavenly Star Commerce's auctions, it was a rare sight, perhaps only appearing once every few years. How could people not be shocked? After all, Xiao Ya, the pavilion master of the Pill Pavilion of the Great Qi Kingdom, one of the 5 great powers of the Northwest, was only at the peak of the 3rd grade and couldn't refine 4th-grade pills. This shows how scarce 4th-grade pills were in the Northwest 5 kingdoms. This was only spreading within a small area of Wu City. Once it spread throughout the entire Northwest 5 kingdoms, even the entire Northwest 5 kingdoms would go crazy for it. Qin Chen also knew that exposing 4th-grade pills would carry a huge risk, but for the sake of eliminating the 100 Ghosts curse, he had no other choice. The longer he delayed, the greater the damage to his body, and the more energy it would take to recover in the future. So, he couldn't care so much anymore. To prevent any accidents, after closing the number 1 pill pavilion, Qin Chen didn't immediately start refining pills. Instead, he rearranged the formations within the number 1 pill pavilion. The original formation of the number 1 pill pavilion was set up by the Zhu family. The cultivation of the entire main formation was at the peak of the 3rd rank, with a slight gap to the 4th rank. Qin Chen quickly adjusted the formation base of the entire main formation and expanded the original formation again, making it completely a 4th rank formation. A sharp glint flashed in Qin Chen's eyes, and he thought to himself, that's about right. With a 4th rank formation, even a mysterious level martial artist would have a hard time escaping death. After setting up the formation, Qin Chen entered Lu Cheng's refining room to refine the large number of pills needed for tomorrow. At this time, what happened in the number 1 pill pavilion quickly spread to the 4 major forces. Heavenly Star Commerce Headquarters. Oh, a 4th grade alchemist has come to Tianwu City. The speaker was an old man in a golden robe, his face full of wrinkles, very old, but his eyes flashed with a sharp light, giving people a strong sense of deterrence. Yes, this person sold 3rd grade profound breaking pills and mind concentrate pills today, and said that he would also sell Chongshuan pills and Ningli pills tomorrow. Blood Eagle Crazy Blade Zhao Tianleng also commissioned this person to customize a 4th grade Kinkson pill, and that person accepted it. A middle-aged man knelt respectfully below, his attitude respectful, his head lowered. Hee, interesting. It's really strange that such a young man is a 4th grade alchemist. What's more, I have never heard of such a master in these Northwest 5 kingdoms. Interesting. The old man had a smile on his face, and his eyes flashed with wisdom. President Duan, do you want your subordinates to send someone to contact the other party? I heard that the Zhu family has already sent someone to the door today, but they were driven out of the number 1 pill pavilion by the angry Wu City martial artists. No need. The old man waved his hand, with a hint of sarcasm on his face. Those idiots of the Zhu family, do they think that others don't know about the little things between them and Lu Cheng? They even dared to make trouble. However, that young man was able to use the martial artists of Wu City to force the Zhu family away. That's a bit interesting. The old man's eyes were deep. This was the 2nd time he had said it was interesting today. Like this, you go to Master Zhai Zu's place later, let him come to the Chamber of Commerce headquarters early tomorrow morning, and then, you send someone to the number 1 pill pavilion tomorrow morning, and be sure to buy a pill and send it over as quickly as possible. Send it to Master Zhai Zu for appraisal. We don't need to do anything else. Understand? Yes, your subordinate understands. The middle-aged man nodded and immediately retreated. After the other party left, the old man raised his head, his eyes revealing a bright light, and muttered to himself, 4th grade alchemist, it is extremely rare to see in my Northwest 5 kingdoms. What is the origin of that kid? Interesting. Not only the Heavenly Star Commerce, but also the Zhu family and Wushu Mansion also learned the news and were shaken by it. The most furious was the Zhu family. Preposterous. Did that kid really say that today? In the Zhu family hall, a group of strong men sat around, their expressions angry. Zhu Zun knelt below, his head lowered, reporting to the patriarch, everything your subordinate said is true. That kid simply doesn't take our Zhu family seriously. Zhu Hongjin, the 2nd master of the Zhu family, said with a gloomy face, brother, everyone knows that Lu Cheng is a member of our Zhu family. That kid and the Zhu family dared to directly destroy Lu Ji and slander our Zhu family like this. Clearly, they don't take our Zhu family seriously. If we don't show them some color, how will our Zhu family gain a foothold in Wu City in the future? Where will we put our faces? The head of the Zhu family, named Zhu Hongji, was a man with a red mole on his left eyebrow, burly in stature and with sharp eyes. He waved his hand and said in a deep voice, don't act rashly for the time being. Zhu Hongjin immediately said anxiously, brother. Zhu Hongji said in a deep voice, this person was able to kill Lu Cheng and the 3 masters of Lu Ji so easily, his background must be extraordinary. The key is that this person can actually take out so many 3rd grade pills. I suspect that there are other people behind him. Brother, what do you mean? Zhu Hongji sneered. This person is so young. If he has excellent talent and extraordinary cultivation, I would believe it. But if he is a third-grade alchemist, how is that possible? If becoming an alchemist was so easy, wouldn't everyone in the world be alchemists? Behind him, there must be a powerful alchemist in charge. Now that this person has not yet appeared, we don't know what their purpose is, so we must not act rashly. But brother, the guards of Lu Ji have already said that apart from the Zhu family and that kid, no one else broke into Lu Ji to take action. Moreover, are we just going to let them go? Zhu Hongji smiled coldly. Letting them go is naturally impossible. Although our Zhu family can't act rashly for the time being, it's easy to find someone to test them. Call Wu Liangyu here. Yes. Soon, a man walked in from outside the hall. This man was dressed in a black robe, his face hidden under a cloak, shaped like a ghost. Patriarch, you called me. Wu Liangyu came to the hall and respectfully saluted Zhu Hongji. He was not a member of the Zhu family, but a guest elder secretly supported by the Zhu family. His cultivation reached the early peak of the mysterious level. Many times, the Zhu family had things that could not be done openly, and he would solve them. Zhu Hongji said, Elder Wu, you should have heard about the Lu Ji incident. Tonight, you secretly investigate Lu Ji and find out who is pretending to be a ghost inside and opposing our Zhu family. Don't worry, Patriarch, Wu will definitely not fail his mission. With a cupped fist, Wu Liangyu's mouth curled into a cold smile. The night was deep. Wu City, which had been restless for a day, gradually returned to tranquility. Outside Lu Ji, several figures quietly approached. Elder Wu, this is Lu Ji. Zhu Zun and the others brought Wu Liangyu to the outside of Lu Ji, and said cautiously. Don't worry, you wait here, this elder will be back soon. With a cold smile, Wu Liangyu shook his body, quietly hid in the darkness, and then turned into a stream of light, instantly swept into Lu Ji, and disappeared. Watching Wu Liangyu's figure disappear into the darkness, vanishing like a shadow, Zhu Zun and the others revealed expressions of astonishment. Elder Wu's shadow divine skill is becoming increasingly terrifying. He. Needless to say, it's said that before Elder Wu came to Wucheng, he was the leader of an assassin organization in the Great Zhao Kingdom. However, he offended the Zhao Kingdom's royal family, and the organization was exposed, with all its bases destroyed, forcing him to flee to Wucheng. With Elder Wu taking action, that kid is definitely dead this time. Elder Wu's assassination skills are so strong that even the family head greatly admires them. He. Just wait for good news. A sinister smile appeared on the corner of Zhu Zun's mouth. Inside the refining room, Qin Chen stopped the furnace fire. Bang! The lid opened, and more than a dozen pills soared into the sky, landing in Qin Chen's hand. Huff! Letting out a long breath, Qin Chen put the pills into a jade bottle. This is already the 5th batch of pills. My true energy is a bit depleted. I'll recover for a bit first. Sitting cross-legged, Qin Chen circulated the 9-star God Emperor art to recover his true energy. In a dark corner of Willow Pavilion, a shadow, like a ghost, shrank into the darkness, flowing quickly. This shadow seemed to blend into the night. Several warriors from the Zhu family patrolled back and forth in Willow Pavilion, but even though the shadow was standing near them, they didn't notice it at all, as if it were air. HMPH. I'll figure out what that kid is doing first, and then deal with these lackeys. Wu Liangyu had no interest in attacking the Zhu family's warriors. If he wanted to, he could definitely kill them both in an instant, but doing so might expose his target, which would outweigh the benefits. I'll let you live a little longer. His figure merging into the darkness, Wu Liangyu searched towards the inner pavilion. Before long, he arrived outside the refining room. Through the window sill, Qin Chen was cultivating cross-legged. The entire Willow Pavilion, apart from the Zhu family, seems to only have this kid. There's no sign of the expert the family head mentioned at all. Hiding in the corner, Wu Liangyu pondered to himself, since that's the case, I'll take this kid back first and let the family head interrogate him thoroughly. The truth will naturally come to light. With a sway of his figure, Wu Liangyu arrived at a window sill. Whoosh! A gust of wind blew, and the window rattled, as if shaken by the wind. A shadow had silently entered the refining room, hiding in the shadows near the window sill. Qin Chen, who was cultivating, opened his eyes and muttered to himself, "Why is there such a strong wind here? Strange." Standing up, he went to the window, intending to close it casually. Swoosh! Just then, Wu Liangyu darted out from the shadows, and with a flick of his hand, 3 black tentacles formed from true energy shot out, wrapping around Qin Chen from tricky angles. Taking a step back, seemingly slowly but actually quickly, Qin Chen turned and sneered. The mysterious rusty sword was already unsheathed in his hand. "I've been waiting for you." Cut. With a slash of the sword, a bright sword light appeared. Instantly, a sword intent capable of cutting through everything permeated the refining room, sweeping towards Wu Liangyu. Swoosh! Boom! The sword light flashed, and the 3 dark tentacles were split in 2, dissipating into nothingness. What? He actually discovered my presence. Wu Liangyu was shocked, but his eyes were colder than ever. Black light surged on his body, and his hands danced rapidly. A huge dark tentacle appeared out of thin air around Qin Chen, and with a tremor, it suddenly contracted, wanting to trap Qin Chen to death inside. Dark entanglement. The black tentacle was like a giant snake, twisting wildly. The intense true power sealed the surrounding air, quickly closing to form a sealed can. Qin Chen was in the center of the can, and outside the can, there was black gas transformed from the black tentacle, making it impossible to avoid. Break! Qin Chen's figure shook, and he gripped the sword with both hands. The sword light soared into the sky, cutting a gap in the about-to-be sealed air. With a sway of his figure, he had already broken through the encirclement and appeared beside Wu Liangyu. At the same time, there was a dazzling sword light, illuminating the void. So fast, Wu Liangyu was horrified, and he arranged layers of true power barriers in front of him. In the center of the barriers, invisible black gas surged, forming layers of defensive shields that constantly flowed. Puff puff puff. The true power shields were like paper, cut off layer by layer under Qin Chen's sword. Finally, they were blocked by Wu Liangyu's arms. However, blocking was blocking, but a terrifying sword intent rushed into Wu Liangyu's body, and the intense sword intent shook his blood and energy, causing him to fly backward. With a crash, the wall shattered, and Wu Liangyu was blasted into the open space outside the refining room. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. Qin Chen's sword had already injured his meridians. Whoosh! With a sway of his figure, Qin Chen appeared in the open space. How is this possible? How could this kid be so strong? Wu Liangyu was horrified. He clearly felt that Qin Chen's cultivation was only at the mid-stage of the heaven realm, and what he possessed was only true energy, but the strength of the attacks he unleashed was unprecedented, even far surpassing that of ordinary early-stage profound realm warriors, even more terrifying than true power. Is this guy a monster? The rumbling from the refining room spread out into the silent night, immediately alarming Zhu Sheng and the others who were cultivating. They were all shocked. Not good. Someone has broken in. Young Master Chen must not be harmed. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Figures rapidly swept over. They're fighting inside. Outside Willow Pavilion, near the corner of the wall, Zhu Zun and the others also heard the low rumbling coming from inside, and they couldn't help but raise their eyebrows. Hee. It looks like Elder Wu is wreaking havoc inside. Zhu Zun revealed a cold smile. Manager Zhu, should we rush in to help? Someone asked. No need. With Elder Wu's strength, we can't help much even if we go in. Moreover, if we encounter any danger, Elder Wu can easily escape with his methods. We'll only be a burden if we go in. Zhu Zun said decisively. The task he received was to assist Wu Liangyu, and he must not take action himself. This way, even if there were any mistakes, the Zhu family would not be implicated. In the open space of Willow Pavilion. Kid, you have some skills, but do you think you can be my opponent with just these? Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Wu Liangyu's expression was ferocious. Since he had already been exposed, he was too lazy to hide and could just capture this kid. Boom! A terrifying aura awakened in Wu Liangyu's body. Above his head, a black, ethereal giant snake gradually emerged. A pair of blood-colored pupils coldly stared at Qin Chen. In an instant, Wu Lianyu's aura soared. His hands danced, and the black giant snake twisted wildly, merging with Wu Lianyu, and crazily attacked Qin Chen. Bloodline manifestation, is it the shadow snake bloodline? Qin Chen sneered. The cultivation of the early stage peak of the profound realm, coupled with the amplitude of the bloodline manifestation, was indeed terrifying. Unfortunately, the other party shouldn't have, by any means, entered his home ground. Fighting head-on was the worst method. He stepped on his feet. Boom! An invisible force instantly soared into the sky. Around the open space, countless dazzling white lights lit up, instantly enveloping Qin Chen and Wu Lianyu. The Great Formation was activated. To prevent anyone from taking risks, Qin Chen had already reconfigured the Grand Formation in Willow Pavilion, creating a terrifying trapping formation. Now that the formation was activated, it immediately enveloped him and Wu Lianyu within it. Ha ha ha, you think you can control me with a formation? Think again. Enveloped by the white light of the formation, Wu Lianyu's face showed no alarm. He quickly took out a piece of black iron plate from his body and threw it towards the front. Buzz! The black iron array plate vibrated, and an invisible force spread out, enveloping the white light around Wu Lianyu. The light trembled violently and gradually dissipated, revealing Qin Chen's figure again. Die! Black light emerged, and a terrifying dark aura swept out, transforming into invisible waves that enveloped Qin Chen again, suppressing him swiftly like a shadow. The Zhu family was, after all, a family of formation experts. Naturally, they knew that Willow Pavilion had a formation set up. Moreover, according to the news from daytime, the young man who killed Lu Cheng was not only an alchemist but also had considerable attainments in formations. Therefore, to prevent the formation from being used by the opponent, the Zhu family gave Wu Lianyu such an array plate when they sent him, telling him that once the opponent controlled the formation, he only needed to throw the array plate to solve it. Now it had come in handy. Boom! The black aura swept down, but before Wu Lianyu could show a smile, his expression froze. He saw that his attack was about to land on Qin Chen when suddenly an astonishing formation power was born out of nowhere, forming an invisible barrier in front of the opponent, instantly blocking his attack. How could this be? Wu Lianyu was shocked and could hardly believe his eyes. The Zhu family had clearly told him when they gave him the black iron array plate that any formation would be ineffective under this array plate. How could this young man still have formation power protecting him? Oh, it's actually a formation breaking plate. It seems you were prepared. Unfortunately, the technical content of this formation breaking plate is too low. It's far from enough to break the grand formation I reconfigured. With a flick of his wrist, an invisible suction force was born, sucking the black iron array plate into his hand. Qin Chen glanced at it and couldn't help but shake his head with a sneer. Damn it! Wu Lianyu never expected that the array plate given to him by the Zhu family would lose its effect. It should be known that the Zhu family was the #1 formation family in Martial City, and their attainments in formations were among the best in the entire Northwest 5 nations. But it was easily broken by this young man. He was immediately shocked and faintly felt uneasy. You've been attacking all this time. Now it's my turn. He stepped on the ground, and countless white lights flowed, turning into countless sharp blades, rotating like a forest of knives and sweeping over. Puff puff puff. The void trembled, making sharp whines, like the weeping of ghosts and gods. Dark Serpent Prison. Wu Lianyu's scalp tingled, and a strong sense of crisis rose in his heart. Under the threat of death, the true energy in his body circulated to the extreme, condensing into black pythons outside his body. The pythons intertwined with each other, head to tail, forming a black serpent formation. Not feeling at ease, Wu Lianyu's body shook, and a layer of light black halo emerged from his body, forming a light shield arc on the surface of his body, with runes flowing on it. It was a unique body protecting technique he had cultivated. After doing all this, Wu Lianyu felt a little calmer. He knew that the formation in Willow Pavilion was only a third-tier peak formation. No matter how powerful this formation was, it was impossible to break through his 2 layers of defense. In this way, he was already invincible. Crack! The first white light shattered his thoughts. The white light fell, containing unprecedented terrifying power, and cut a gap of several inches long in his black serpent defense. This was just one white light. Looking up, the void was filled with countless white lights, as many as thousands. Bang 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 bang. One after another, white lights fell, like a torrential rain. The black defensive serpent formation immediately collapsed and disintegrated, and then exploded. Immediately afterward, the rune shield on Wu Lianyu's body also shook violently, as if it would break at any time. Not good. Escape. His eyebrows twitched wildly, and Wu Lianyu was so frightened that his soul flew away. He never expected that the attack of this formation would be so strong that it was impossible for a third-tier peak formation to achieve. His figure swayed, and he was about to escape out of the formation. Can you escape? Qin Chen sneered, his eyes narrowed. Mental storm. Swoosh. An invisible mental shock instantly submerged into his mind, causing Wu Lianyu's figure to suddenly stagnate. No. With a shrill scream, the rune shield on Wu Lianyu's body shattered, and blood spurted out from all parts of his body, as if he had been cut into 1,000 pieces. The next moment, swish, the light of the sword sounded, and Wu Lianyu's head, filled with shock and anger, rose into the sky, with blood splashing 3 feet away. Buzz. The formation converged, and the open space immediately returned to calm. In the silent night, it seemed that nothing had happened, only a headless corpse telling the previous tragic battle. Young Master Chen, what happened? What's going on? The whole process seemed long, but in reality, it was only in an instant. By the time Zhu Sheng and others arrived, the battle was over. They only saw Qin Chen in a blue robe, standing on the open space, calm and relaxed. It's nothing. Someone broke into my alchemy room tonight, but I've already killed him. Qin Chen's tone was calm. Only then did everyone see Wu Lianyu's body on the ground, and the head rolling in the corner. On that head, Wu Lianyu's eyes were filled with shock and anger, as if he couldn't believe that he would die here even at the time of his death. Isn't this Wu Lianyu? Zhu Sheng and the others were startled and their eyes widened. Wu Lianyu was, after all, a strong man at the early peak of the profound level. In Martial City, he was well known, and his cultivation was almost no less than that of Blood Eagle Guangdao. He was killed by young Master Chen so easily. Everyone felt dizzy and somewhat unbelievable. Clean up here and hang this man's head outside the door. Without asking Zhu Sheng about the origin of the other party, Qin Chen knew who the other party was sent by even with his feet. Yes. Trembling, Zhu Sheng and the others retreated. And Qin Chen returned to the alchemy room again and began to refine the pills to be sold tomorrow. Outside the first pill pavilion, Zhu Zun and the others heard the movement inside calm down and said with a grim smile, "It seems that Elder Wu has succeeded. Manager Zhu, should we go in now?" "Wait a minute." Zhu Zun pressed his right hand in the air. "Wait for Elder Wu's news." Just then, the gate of the first pill pavilion opened with a creak. Everyone frowned and hurriedly shrank into the corner. They heard a few footsteps, as if they had stayed at the door for a moment, and then closed the door and returned to the Dan pavilion. What's going on? Could it be that Elder Wu didn't succeed? With a frown, Zhu Zun and the others poked their heads out. The next moment, everyone's eyes widened, and they fell to the ground with their buttocks, their faces turning pale. Having dealt with Wu Lianyu, Qin Chen didn't dwell on it, and instead resumed his alchemy practice. At this stage, each additional rank 3 pill was equivalent to another rank 4 spirit herb, making it an incredibly worthwhile deal for Qin Chen. Martial City lacked alchemists, but its geographic location, at the intersection of 5 kingdoms, meant a high volume of people and merchants passing through. Furthermore, its proximity to the profound heavy mountain range, a land of abundant resources, meant that many powerful martial artists possessed spirit herbs but lacked channels to sell them. Even when they could sell, they couldn't fetch a good price, leading to the hoarding of many treasures. This represented a huge business opportunity for Qin Chen. It was also the reason he had painstakingly come to Martial City. The next day, when Zhu Sheng opened the doors of the number 1 pill pavilion, he found a crowd already packed outside. Looking into the distance, the dense crowd resembled a sea of people, stretching all the way to the horizon, startling Zhu Sheng. Having operated in Martial City for so many years, he had never seen such a magnificent scene, not even at the Heavenly Star Merchant Association's triennial grand auction. Zhu Yan and the others behind Zhu Sheng were also dumbfounded. The heads of the people in front of them were packed together, so densely that they couldn't count them. His mouth dry, his palms sweating, Zhu Sheng walked out. Seeing Zhu Sheng and the others come out, the crowd in front of the number 1 pill pavilion immediately parted, actively creating an open space. Although the crowd was large, it was very orderly, without the slightest disturbance. Many people's gazes frequently turned towards Wu Lianyu's head hanging at the entrance of the number 1 pill pavilion. Wu Lianyu, with a cultivation base reaching the peak of the Profound Realm's initial stage, could be considered one of Martial City's celebrities, and naturally, many people knew him. Although the crowd wasn't clear why Wu Lianyu's head was hanging there, none of them were idiots. Even with a moment's thought, they knew that Wu Lianyu must have coveted the number 1 pill pavilion's pills and launched a night attack, only to fail and be killed instead. Yesterday, Qin Chen and the others had eliminated Lu Cheng and the others from Willow Pavilion, but no matter how strong Lu Cheng and the others were, their cultivation base was only at the peak of the Heaven Realm's later stage, not considered true top experts. Now that even Wu Lianyu had died here, it instantly sobered everyone up. The strength of this number 1 pill pavilion was definitely not as weak as it appeared on the surface. Originally, many desperados had even decided that if the number 1 pill pavilion really produced the breakthrough profound pill and the gathering power pill today, they might break in tonight and do something. But at this moment, these people all felt cold in their hearts, cold sweat dripping down their backs, secretly rejoicing that they hadn't acted last night due to their apprehension. Otherwise, the one hanging here now would probably be their own head. After Zhu Sheng and the others came out, they immediately set up a high platform in front of the number 1 pill pavilion. The entire platform was about 3 to 4 meters high, allowing the people above to clearly see the crowd on the entire street. Just as the high platform was set up, Qin Chen happened to walk out from the number 1 pill pavilion. Do you think there really will be breakthrough profound pills and gathering power pills today? How would I know? I hope he has them. I'm so nervous. Master Qin is out. Everyone be quiet. Don't talk. Master Qin is here. Before Zhu Sheng could speak, someone had already taken the initiative to remind the noisy crowd around, and even Qin Chen's name had been found out. Qin Chen was also startled to see so many people on the street, but he was mostly excited. Moreover, after seeing that the vast majority of people had expectant expressions on their faces, he immediately knew that he was going to make a fortune today. Qin Chen's soul power even sensed more than one profound realm expert. These experts were also standing in the crowd, waiting earnestly. With so many profound realm martial artists present, Qin Chen wasn't too worried. He believed that after yesterday's events and Wu Lianyu's head at the door, these profound realm martial artists wouldn't dare to act rashly. Of course, even if they did, standing within the protection range of the formation, he wouldn't be afraid at all. Is the mind-clearing pill ready? Bloodhawk Madblade stood at the front of the crowd, and as soon as Qin Chen appeared, he immediately stepped forward and asked anxiously. Although his tone was still cold, it was clear that he no longer had the domineering and forceful manner of yesterday, only a hint of anxiety. Obviously, after seeing Wu Lianyu's head, he understood very well that this number 1 pill pavilion was not afraid of him, a martial artist at the peak of the profound realm's initial stage. Although his direct strength was stronger than Wu Lianyu, it was only by a limited amount, while Wu Lianyu's ability in assassination was definitely far superior to his. It's ready, here it is, check it out. Qin Chen casually tossed out a jade bottle. Bloodhawk Madblade caught the jade bottle and hurriedly opened the stopper, pouring it into his hand. 2 round pills immediately appeared in his hand, the entire body a light green color, with 2 clear pill veins floating on the surface, emitting a refreshing fragrance. The surrounding martial artists smelled this fragrance and immediately felt their minds clear, their pores relaxing, and their spirits refreshed. It really is a rank 4 mind-clearing pill. My heavens, could this young man really be a rank 4 alchemist? Too terrifying. The crowd stirred, all incomparably shocked, with excitement on their faces. Seeing the pills in his hand, Bloodhawk Madblade's face was instantly filled with excitement. Indeed, It is a rank 4 mind-clearing pill, thank you very much. Bloodhawk Madblade said as he quickly and carefully put away the pills, and then instantly disappeared into the crowd, leaving only an envious figure behind. Seeing Bloodhawk Madblade leave, Qin Chen then cupped his fists and said, "Everyone, friends of Martial City, the number 1 pill pavilion will be selling today a total of 20 rank 3 True Chi pills, 20 rank 3 Breakthrough Profound pills, 20 rank 3 Mind Gathering pills, 20 rank 3 Breakthrough Realm pills, and 20 rank 3 Gathering Power pills, a total of 100 pills, and each pill is a superior pill with pill veins. I hope everyone will purchase to their heart's content. The purchase criteria are still the same as yesterday. 1 high-level material of various types will grant 1 purchase qualification. At the same time, our number 1 pill pavilion also undertakes pill customization projects. For any pill, as long as you bring suitable high-level materials and the spirit herbs needed to refine the pill itself, our number 1 pill pavilion can undertake it. Of course, everyone also knows that refining pills requires a lot of energy, so in terms of customized pills, the projects I undertake are limited, so please make the most of it." As soon as Qin Chen's words fell, the scene immediately erupted. Especially the Breakthrough Profound pill and the Gathering Power pill, for Heaven Realm martial artists, these were simply like drugs. For the vast majority of martial artists present, these pills were worth risking their lives to buy. Not to mention that the other party could also customize rank 4 pills. These were rank 4 pills. If any other alchemist said this, everyone would scoff. But before, everyone had seen Bloodhawk Madblade take away the customized mind-clearing pill. In terms of ability, no one doubted Qin Chen anymore. In an instant, the entire scene became agitated, and the crowd began to surge wildly. Especially some of the martial artists on the periphery were eager to rush in, because although 100 pills seemed like a lot, it was nothing for the thousands upon thousands of people present. Friends, please don't push. I hope everyone can state their treasures and the pills they want to exchange. I will decide the order of exchange based on the materials you bring out. Even if all 100 pills are exchanged, you will still have opportunities later, so please remain calm. Seeing the scene about to spiral out of control, Qin Chen had no choice but to step forward and say, "As for those who want to customize pills, there's no need to rush. Custom orders will only be processed after these pills are sold. Please maintain your composure." Asking these martial artists to reveal the good items would surely attract attention, but Qin Chen couldn't care less. As an outsider, collecting so many high-grade materials would make him an even easier target, but there was nothing he could do. Since he wanted to quickly increase his strength and find what he needed, he had to do this. Originally, no one would be willing to expose the good things they had, but after Qin Chen said this, there was no chaos in the arena. Everyone was eager to take out the treasures, afraid that Qin Chen wouldn't know about them. "Master Qin, I have a blood body and want to buy a Chongshuan pill. I have soul heart grass and amethyst stone, and want to buy Chongshuan pills and Ningli pills. I only have black pomegranate and want to exchange it for a Ningli pill. If that's not possible, a Ningxin pill will do." For a time, all kinds of voices rang out frantically. Almost everyone took out 4th order materials, with 3rd order ones being rare. Among them, there were also many top quality 4th order materials. Moreover, most people wanted to exchange for Chongshuan pills and Ningli pills, which could help people break through from the Heaven Realm to the Profound Realm. Listening to the various sounds, Qin Chen became more and more pleasantly surprised. Today's materials were generally better than yesterday's, and he wanted almost every one of them, unwilling to give up any. He immediately said to Zhu Sheng, "Exchange for the soul heart grass first." Soul heart grass was a top-grade 4th order spiritual herb and the main ingredient for the Heavenly Soul pill. The Heavenly Soul pill seemed to be a pill to enhance the strength of the soul, but in fact, its effect was to enhance the martial artist's spiritual power. Now, Qin Chen's spiritual power was stuck at the peak of the 3rd order, and it was extremely difficult to break through. After all, his cultivation was only at the Heaven Realm. But as long as he could refine the Heavenly Soul pill, he would have a certain chance to break through to the 4th order spiritual power in a short period of time. By then, refining 4th grade pills would be easier. even effortless, instead of being as inefficient as it was now. Zhu Sheng and the others immediately followed Qin Chen's instructions and called the person up. The person who was called up seemed to have won the lottery. He was immediately excited and walked up with a flushed face, eager to exchange for a pill. One spiritual herb after another, one material after another, were constantly being collected, but the number of people crowding in decreased instead of increasing. By the time the 100 pills were sold out, only a small portion of the people at the scene had exchanged them. Seeing the last pill being exchanged, the crowd suddenly became agitated. They hadn't exchanged yet, but the pills were all gone. Everyone, if you're not afraid of waiting, you can wait a moment. I'll refine some more pills and exchange them again in the afternoon. In less than an hour, 100 pills were exchanged, and each one was exchanged for extremely amazing materials. Having no other choice, Qin Chen had to return to the scene to refine more pills. Hearing that there would be more pills for sale, these martial artists were unwilling to leave and waited patiently. In this way, Qin Chen refined while exchanging. As long as there was still top-quality fourth-order materials that hadn't been exchanged, he accepted everything. By the evening, Qin Chen had finally exchanged all the top-quality materials, and even with his strong spiritual power, he was already exhausted and his mind was muddled. If he continued refining, he would probably become exhausted, so he had to stop the exchange. He didn't even have time to accept custom orders and could only arrange for Zhu Sheng to register them. After this day, the reputation of the first pill pavilion completely resounded throughout Martial City. The entire Martial City knew that there was a pill shop selling third-grade pills, and its pavilion master was even a fourth-grade alchemist master. After a day, the first pill pavilion was known to everyone. Some people who hadn't exchanged for pills knew that continuing to stay outside the first pill pavilion was meaningless, so they tried every means to find the most top-quality materials, because they all knew that after today, the first pill pavilion's appetite had become greater and greater, and ordinary fourth-order materials might not even be noticed. Although Qin Chen's sales method was not an auction, it was actually not much different from an auction. To buy pills from the first pill pavilion, it was not enough to take out good materials, but also to have better materials than others. Looking at the gradually dispersing crowd, Zhu Sheng finally breathed a sigh of relief. In just one day, the people of their Zhu family were all exhausted. But after careful calculation, they found that nearly 300 pills were sold today, and after obtaining tens of millions of silver coins, Zhu Sheng was almost dumbfounded. This speed of accumulating wealth was even faster than robbery. The annual income of the four major forces in Martial City was not as much as Qin Chen's one-day income. However, Zhu Sheng and the others couldn't rest yet, because there were still many martial artists waiting at the door who needed customization. May I ask if Master Qin is free now? Most of these experts who had been waiting here for a day were now a little anxious. The vast majority of those who wanted to customize fourth-grade pills were profound realm martial artists. For them, Chongshuan pills and Ningli pills were of no use at all. Young Master Chen is too tired today and has already rested. You only need to write down the pills you need to customize and the materials you can provide, and register them. After young Master Chen rests, he will naturally choose whether to customize or not. Please come back tomorrow morning to wait for the results. The people in front of them were all profound realm experts from Martial City, all of whom were quite famous. In the past, Zhu Sheng didn't even dare to breathe loudly when he saw them, but now he was calm and relaxed. All right. These experts were all extremely depressed, but they didn't dare to show any temper, and they all registered one after another. Who told them that they were the ones asking for help now? After half a day, they all understood that although they were veteran experts in Martial City, this first pill pavilion had an extraordinary background and could ignore them. While first pill pavilion was filled with joy, the Zhu family in Wucheng was feeling utterly dejected. That damned guy actually managed to refine grade 3 Chongshuan pills and condensing strength pills. This time, he made a huge profit. Zhu Hongjun's face was flushed with anger, and his body trembled. It seems this kid's background is truly extraordinary. And I heard he actually refined a grade 4 clear heart pill for Blood Eagle Mad Blade. It's really unexpected. Zhu Hongji, the head of the Zhu family, also looked grim. Big brother, what should we do now? Should we just confront him directly, regardless of his background? Zhu Hongjun gritted his teeth. No, that's not appropriate. Zhu Hongji shook his head. Then are we just going to let it go? With Lu Pavilion destroyed and Wu Liangyu killed, when had their Zhu family ever suffered such a loss? Second brother, don't be anxious, Zhu Hongji sneered. Even if we wanted to let it go, the other major forces probably wouldn't. Big brother, what do you mean? Zhu Hongji sneered. Second brother, think about it. How many high-grade materials and how many silver coins did that kid receive today? A large portion of the high-grade material business is monopolized by the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce. Now that kid has almost snatched away half of the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce's business. What do you think the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce will do? Big brother, you mean, let them fight among themselves? Zhu Hongjun's eyes lit up. Zhu Hongji sneered, the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce is just one of them. That kid caused such a big commotion. Although it benefited many martial artists in Wucheng, he offended more than just our Zhu family and the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce. In the entire Wucheng, who knows how many families and forces had their business stolen by this kid? It would be strange if they were happy. Just watch. It won't be long before this kid runs into trouble. Hee hee. Big brother is truly brilliant. Zhu Hongjun let out a sinister laugh. At this moment, at the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce, the atmosphere was extremely tense. A group of extraordinary individuals sat together, led by the old man who had found Qin Chen very interesting. President, if this continues, that first pill pavilion might acquire all the high-grade materials in Wucheng. If this continues, how will our Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce do business in the future? Yes, President, we need to think of a solution. One after another, the high-ranking officials of the Chamber of Commerce looked anxious, speaking urgently to the old man. Everyone, please calm down. The old man waved his hand, his expression serene. The people below were almost in tears. At a time like this, the president was still so calm, even though the situation was dire. Thump, thump, thump. Just then, the middle-aged manager of the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce knocked on the door. What did Master Zhai Zhu say? The old man's eyes opened, instantly shooting out two sharp rays of light. Reporting to the president, Master Zhai Zhu said that the pills we received today were indeed freshly refined, with a refining time of no more than 1 day. The middle-aged manager replied respectfully. So, it was indeed refined by that young man or the person behind him. The old man's gaze was profound, and he smiled, indeed interesting. Below, the many high-ranking officials of the Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce looked at the old man speechlessly. Has the president gone mad? Our Heavenly Star Chamber of Commerce is about to be undermined, and he still says it's interesting. At First Pill Pavilion, after Qin Chen rested for a full hour, his mental energy finally recovered. Young Master Chen, these are the pills that various powerhouses in Wucheng need to customize. Zhu Sheng walked up, holding a registration list. Wait a moment. I'll look at it later. Just put it here and don't let anyone disturb me. Yes. Zhu Sheng respectfully withdrew. Qin Chen carefully sorted the materials in his storage ring. Looking at the hundreds of high-grade materials inside, a look of ecstasy appeared on his face. After 2 days of acquisition, the main materials for the Grade 4 Heart Lotus pill were finally all acquired. In addition, there were many unexpected gains. First, refine the Heavenly Soul pill. Without hesitation, Qin Chen immediately began refining pills. The array fire was activated, and intense heat permeated the alchemy room. Various materials were successively poured into the pill furnace. The Heavenly Soul pill was one of the simpler Grade 4 pills. Although Qin Chen's mental energy was only at the peak of Grade 3, with his rich experience from his previous life, refining the Heavenly Soul pill posed no difficulty at all. Half an hour later, a batch of Heavenly Soul pills appeared in his hand. Sitting cross-legged, Qin Chen directly swallowed the first Grade 4 Heavenly Soul pill. The Heavenly Soul pill was entirely black, with eerie patterns etched on its surface, like a demonic crystal, emitting a heart-palpitating aura. But as soon as the Heavenly Soul pill entered his abdomen, a chilling mental energy permeated throughout his body. Qin Chen immediately activated the myriad god art, guiding a large amount of this chilling mental energy into his mind. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The chilling mental energy seemed like ants encountering hot oil, quickly twisting and then integrating into the soul sea in his mind by his powerful mental energy. On the soul sea, waves surged, full of vastness. Refine. Qin Chen activated the myriad god art. His grade 3 peak mental energy instantly transformed into an invisible vortex, twisting wildly, instantly integrating this mental energy into the soul sea, strengthening himself. This chilling mental energy was unwilling to become prey. It struggled violently, attempting to break out of Qin Chen's soul sea. At the same time, the chilling mental energy within the entire pill erupted simultaneously, attempting to break the confines of Qin Chen's soul sea. Buzz, 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 buzz. However, under Qin Chen's powerful soul force, this chilling mental energy was unable to offer effective resistance and was instantly absorbed, becoming part of Qin Chen's mental energy. Visibly, Qin Chen's mental energy had significantly increased. But it was still not enough to break through. Qin Chen took a second heavenly soul pill. In a short while, the second heavenly soul pill was also refined. Immediately after, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. Qin Chen's mental energy continued to grow stronger. By the eighth pill, Qin Chen's mental energy had reached its limit. A sharp glint flashed in his eyes, and Qin Chen immediately swallowed the remaining 4 heavenly soul pills simultaneously. Boom! A massive amount of mental energy simultaneously merged into Qin Chen's mind. Qin Chen's soul sea fluctuated violently, and a large amount of mental energy rapidly condensed, like a huge storm brewing on a dark sea. This mental energy continuously refined together, eventually forming a transparent sword-shaped object, suspended above the soul sea. From the ethereal, gaseous mental energy to the almost materialized sword-shaped mental energy, although the volume of Qin Chen's mental energy decreased by 99%, its intensity was more than double. Whoosh! His eyes opened, and a terrifying sharp light shot out like an electric current. My mental energy has finally broken through to grade 4. Slowly exhaling a turbid breath, a smile played on Qin Chen's lips. His entire demeanor had become completely different. Mental strength, although closely related to cultivation, actually depends not on cultivation, but on the strength of the body and soul. It should be equivalent to a carrier between physical strength and soul power. My cultivation is currently at the peak of the mid-stage of the heaven realm, but after cultivating the undying holy body, my physical strength has already reached the 4th level. It is stronger than the vast majority of profound realm martial artists, allowing my mental strength to break through to the 4th level without any barriers. Qin Chen's eyes gleamed, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Under normal circumstances, the mental strength of an alchemist is completely restricted by their cultivation level. For example, a 3rd level heaven realm martial artist can only reach the 3rd level of mental strength at most. It is almost impossible to break through to the 4th level. Not only in the Northwest 5 nations, but even in the martial domain, there is only 1 in 10,000 whose mental strength can surpass their cultivation level. But Qin Chen forcibly broke this shackle. In his previous life, he was only an 8th level martial emperor, but he was able to become a 9th grade emperor level alchemist because of this. With my mental strength breaking through to the 4th level, I am now fully confident that I can refine the Heart Lotus Pill. Qin Chen was full of confidence. The Heart Lotus Pill is a type of 4th grade pill with a relatively high difficulty in refining. The entire refining process is very complex, and every step requires extremely strong control. The reason why Qin Chen didn't refine it before was not only because the materials were scarce, but also because he didn't have enough confidence. After all, there was only one 7-colored heart lotus. Once the refining failed, there would be no second chance. But now, Qin Chen had enough confidence. After adjusting his state, Qin Chen immediately began refining. Half an hour later, a rich medicinal fragrance permeated the entire refining room. What kind of pill is this? It's so fragrant. The true energy in my body is actually restless. The medicinal fragrance was too strong, spreading far and wide, causing Zhu Sheng and the others to look over in shock. Having been here for so long, this was the first time they had smelled such a rich medicinal fragrance from the refining room. What surprised them even more was that just by smelling the fragrance, their cultivation seemed to be on the verge of breaking through. However, the fragrance came and went quickly. Before they could comprehend much, it had disappeared completely, as if it had never appeared. But the surging true energy in their bodies indicated that the fragrance they had just smelled was not fake. One by one, they quickly sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate, fearing that they would lose the feeling of breakthrough. Inside the refining room, Qin Chen looked at the 7-colored pill in his hand and also sat down cross-legged, beginning to circulate the 9-star God Emperor art. Once, twice, 3 times. After nearly 2 hours, Qin Chen felt that his state had been adjusted to its best. He quickly took out a heart lotus pill and swallowed it. Boom! As soon as the 7-colored heart lotus pill entered his mouth, a rich medicinal power was released in his body. The powerful medicinal power was like a river, constantly flowing through his body, beginning to spread through his limbs and bones. This power started from the dantian and gradually penetrated into the 12 meridians in his body, transforming his body and condensing the true energy in his body. Qin Chen knew very well that the breakthrough of any realm was the beginning of the transformation of the meridians. When all 12 of his meridians were transformed by the heart lotus pill, it would be the time for the breakthrough. At the same time, the medicinal effect of the heart lotus pill was also rapidly condensing the true energy in Qin Chen's body. The originally restrained true energy was constantly compressed and continued to increase under the effect of the heart lotus pill. As time passed, the medicinal power of the heart lotus pill gradually weakened. An hour later, seeing that the medicinal power of the heart lotus pill was about to disappear completely, the true energy in his body still had no feeling of breakthrough. What's going on? Qin Chen frowned. Logically speaking, the medicinal power of a heart lotus pill was enough for any heaven realm martial artist in the mid-stage to break through. There would be no phenomenon of insufficient medicinal power at all. Moreover, his heart lotus pill was of the highest quality, so this situation would not occur. It should be known that the heart lotus pill was a top-grade 4th-grade pill. In terms of efficacy, it completely surpassed the rushing profound pill and the cohesion pill, enough for a profound realm martial artist to break through. But now, after he had taken a heart lotus pill, he had not even broken through a small level in the heaven realm. The undying holy body and the 9-star God Emperor art that I cultivate are both extremely heaven-defying techniques, making my physical strength and true energy far superior to ordinary martial artists, even surpassing ordinary profound realm martial artists. It seems that the energy required is not enough with just one heart lotus pill. Qin Chen smiled wryly. The techniques he cultivated were extremely strong, causing his cultivation to far surpass ordinary martial artists, but also making his breakthrough more difficult. Otherwise, with his alchemy attainments, if ordinary pills were effective, his cultivation would be far more than just the heaven realm now. With a calm mind, Qin Chen took another heart lotus pill. Before long, the medicinal effect of the 2nd heart lotus pill was also about to disappear. The 3rd one. The 4th one. The 5th one. When he had taken the 6th heart lotus pill, the true energy in Qin Chen's body finally condensed to an extreme. Poof! As if something had been broken, a terrifying aura was released from Qin Chen's body. Finally broke through to the late stage of the heaven realm. Qin Chen was overjoyed. After working so hard for so long, his cultivation had finally broken through again. At the same time, a feeling of hunger came, and Qin Chen felt that his entire body urgently needed a large amount of true energy. Qin Chen knew that this was because his body's evolution had consumed a lot of energy and had not been replenished in time. For ordinary martial artists, this might be a big problem, but for Qin Chen, it was nothing at all. While circulating the 9-star God Emperor art, he quickly took out pills to replenish true energy and swallowed them, while blocks of true stones appeared in his hand for refining. A large amount of true energy gathered in his body, transforming his body and strengthening his meridians. It took a full 2 hours before Qin Chen felt that the true energy in his body had finally absorbed to its limit and stopped absorbing. Opening his eyes, an astonishing cold light burst out from them. Standing up, the surging power all over his body caused the air in the alchemy room to vibrate slightly. Peak of the late stage of the heaven realm. I actually broke through to the peak of the late stage of the heaven realm all at once. Feeling the majestic power in his body, Qin Chen couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. He had not expected this result. However, after taking stock of what he had consumed, Qin Chen smiled wryly again. In just half a night, he had actually absorbed nearly 100 low-grade true stones. He couldn't help but secretly click his tongue. Nearly 100 low-grade true stones, in terms of value alone, were worth no less than nearly 10 million, not to mention that these were true stones that were priceless. In addition, he also took a lot of pills and 6 heart lotus pills. The amount of treasures consumed to break through one level was enough to bankrupt a kingdom's wealthy family. This was just a breakthrough from the peak of the middle stage of the heaven realm to the late stage of the heaven realm. If that's the case, how many treasures would it take to break through from the late stage of the heaven realm to the profound realm? If this were to spread, it would definitely shock everyone into stunned silence and scare them half to death. Qin Chen also smiled wryly. The 9-star god emperor art and the undying saint body that he cultivated were powerful, but the resources they consumed were also astonishing. However, thinking that his strength had broken through from the peak of the middle stage of the heaven realm to the peak of the late stage of the heaven realm in one fell swoop, Qin Chen was quite satisfied. For the current Qin Chen, any treasure was not as important as improving his strength. After breaking through, Qin Chen did not rush to leave. He began to quickly use the true energy after his breakthrough to remove the 100 ghost curse in his mind. Buzz. The powerful 9-star god emperor art true energy circulated rapidly in his body, coming into contact with the black curse power. As expected, after the true energy broke through, the true energy, which had originally had no effect on the black curse power, actually became strong again and began to wear away the power on it. However, when it was worn away to a certain level, the black curse power also found a way to resist the 9-star god emperor art true energy, and the two sides returned to equilibrium. Huff. It seems that without breaking through to the profound realm and transforming true energy into true power, no matter how much I improve, I won't be able to completely remove the power of the 100 ghost curse. Although he had expected this result, Qin Chen couldn't help but feel disappointed. But it's not without effect. After breaking through to the peak of the late stage of the heaven realm, the suppression of true energy on the 100 ghost curse is stronger. Standing up, Qin Chen picked up the customized list of pills. This list was filled with dense materials and pills. After all, it was not easy for Martial City to have a master alchemist, and no one would waste this opportunity. Compared to those heaven realm warriors, the profound realm warriors of Martial City were not much better than them, or rather, the powerhouses of the entire Northwest 5 nations were not much better than the profound realm warriors of Martial City. Because in the Northwest 5 nations, 4th-grade alchemists were extremely rare, and not everyone could come into contact with them. A glance swept over it. Many of the pills on the list were not even cultivation pills. Qin Chen was very understanding of this. Just like Bloodhawk Mad Saber, profound realm warriors who had cultivated to this level would more or less have some problems. For them, improving their cultivation was important, but solving their problems was equally important. Compared to Heaven Realm warriors, the materials that Profound Realm warriors took out were more precious, but now that the Heart Lotus pill had been successfully refined, Qin Chen no longer had the previous urgency. What made Qin Chen regret was that none of the materials that these Profound Realm warriors took out were sacred materials. It seems that sacred materials are very rare. Obtaining them is not something that can be done overnight. He chose some material lists that he needed, as well as some pill lists that he might use in the future. As for those that he didn't need, Qin Chen didn't accept them. 4th-grade pills were extraordinary. Unlike 3rd-grade pills, if too many of them were circulated on the market, it would cause extremely adverse effects. Moreover, if he could refine any 4th-grade pill, it would surely attract the covetousness of the 4 major forces in Martial City. At that time, his situation would definitely be dangerous. Although he had now broken through to the peak of the late stage of the Heaven Realm, he was still very dangerous if the top experts of the 4 major forces in Martial City took action. The next morning, when Qin Chen walked out again, the outside of the first pill pavilion was once again crowded with people. After Qin Chen told Zhu Sheng the fourth-grade pill list that he had chosen to accept, Zhu Sheng immediately brought in the powerhouses who had been waiting here impatiently, and began to collect materials and fees, and told them to come and pick up the pills the next day. Then, as usual, the first pill pavilion once again began selling. After yesterday's popularity, today's sales were even more enthusiastic. Not only did the number of people not decrease, but it also increased. And Qin Chen had completely become a household name. In the following days, Qin Chen had been collecting materials. It was not until the third day that the number of people decreased slightly. What made Qin Chen anxious was that 3 days had passed, and the materials he had exchanged for were countless, but he still hadn't found a single sacred material. Could it be that there are no sacred materials in this martial city? Qin Chen's heart sank. He decided to wait 2 more days, and even, on the last day, specifically request an explanation for finding sacred materials. If he still couldn't find sacred materials, he would leave Martial City in 2 days and think of other ways. Otherwise, continuing to stay here would be a complete waste of time. On this day, after Qin Chen finished selling, an old man came to the first pill pavilion. With gray hair and wearing a gray robe, the whole person, although not young, was filled with an amazing vitality. After his spiritual power broke through to the 4th level, Qin Chen's vision became more discerning. He could tell at a glance that the other party was actually a powerhouse in the late stage of the heaven realm. His cultivation was so high that it was not even lower than Zhao Zhen, the head of the Zhao family in Lingnan, Great Qi nation. Beside him, after Zhu Sheng saw the old man, his eyes showed horror, and even his hands trembled slightly. Qin Chen frowned. Zhu Sheng had followed him for so long, and he had seen many profound realm warriors. He had long since taken many things lightly. This was the first time he had such a reaction in front of an old man, which showed that the old man's identity was definitely not simple. Seeing that Qin Chen didn't speak, the old man laughed and cupped his fists at Qin Chen, saying, "This old man is Duan Lingtian of the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce. Greetings, Master Qin." Tianxing Chamber of Commerce. Qin Chen was stunned. How could he not know that the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce was one of the 4 major forces in Martial City, and it vaguely had the reputation of being the leader of the 4 major forces. The largest auction house in Martial City, the Tianxing Auction House, was owned by the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce, and the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce's annual large-scale auction would even attract powerhouses from the major forces of the Northwest 5 nations. No wonder Zhu Sheng had such a reaction. It turned out to be someone from the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce, and this person's status in the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce was definitely not low. No wonder Zhu Sheng was shocked. Just as he was thinking, Zhu Sheng's voice had already sounded in his ears, whispering, "Young Master Chen, this person is the president of the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce." Qin Chen was even more shocked. The president of the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce. He immediately understood what this person meant in Martial City. It could be said that in Martial City, this person was already the one with the highest status. There was absolutely no one who could surpass him. Qin Mu has met President Duan. I wonder what President Duan has come to my first pill pavilion for. Qin Chen knew that his large-scale acquisition of materials in Martial City would definitely attract people from the 4 major forces, but he didn't expect that the first one to come would be the president of the Tianxing Chamber of Commerce. Seeing that Qin Chen was so direct, Duan Lingyun laughed and didn't mind. He said with a smile, "I didn't expect that Master Qin is not only amazingly talented in cultivation, but is also a leading genius in the Great Qi nation. His talent in alchemy is also so high that even in the Northwest 5 nations, he is second to none. The most powerful alchemist in my Tianxing Chamber of Commerce is only a 3rd-grade alchemist. Master Qin is so young, yet he has already surpassed my Tianxing Chamber of Commerce. The Great Qi nation is really lucky." As soon as Duan Lingyun's voice fell, Qin Chen's pupils suddenly shrank. This Duan Lingtian actually knows that I am from the Great Qi kingdom. Qin Chen was secretly shocked and a hint of vigilance rose in his heart. However, after thinking about it carefully, he felt enlightened. He had caused such a big commotion in Wucheng, the top forces in Wucheng would definitely investigate. Local families in Wucheng like the Zhu family and the Song family might not have many connections, but the Qianxing Merchant Guild is one of the top merchant guilds in the Northwest Five Kingdoms. Its power is almost all over the Northwest Five Kingdoms, so it is not surprising that it can find out my origin. After all, after experiencing the preliminary round of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament, I am considered a celebrity in the Northwest Five Kingdoms, and everyone in the Great Qi Kingdom knows me. With a faint smile, Qin Chen said, Guild Leader Duan is too polite. I think Guild Leader Duan came here today not to chat with Qin about family matters, right? So what if he knows his identity? The other party was able to find out his origin so quickly. I am afraid that the events that happened in the capital of the Great Qi Kingdom not long ago should also be clear. He doesn't believe that the Qianxing Merchant Guild dares to attack him. Qin Chen's guess was correct. Duan Lingtian not only found out Qin Chen's identity, but also clearly understood the fall of the Ghost Immortal Sect Master in the capital of the Great Qi Kingdom not long ago, and he was shocked. No matter how strong the Qianxing Merchant Guild is, it cannot be more terrifying than the Ghost Immortal Sect. Now that even the Ghost Immortal Sect Master has died in the capital of the Great Qi Kingdom, he is naturally extremely afraid. Seeing that his temptation seemed to hit the air with a punch, Duan Lingtian felt very uncomfortable, as if he had punched the air, and said with a dry laugh, Master Qin is joking. I came this time just because I think Master Qin's alchemy skills are second to none in the entire Wucheng. He is so handy in refining third-grade elixirs. Compared with the alchemy masters of my Qianxing Merchant Guild, he is slightly better. Maybe everyone can communicate with each other. Qin Chen sneered in his heart, slightly better. Stop bragging. He has not understood the elixir market in Wucheng. If the alchemist of the Qianxing Merchant Guild is only a little worse than him, how could it be his turn to do this business? With the ability of the Qianxing Merchant Guild, those high-level materials he exchanged before can be transported to any place in the Northwest Five Kingdoms. How can it be his turn to do it? Without even thinking about it, the third-grade alchemist of the Qianxing Merchant Guild is definitely far worse than him, even not on the same level as Xiao Ya. Otherwise, why would people be under your Qianxing Merchant Guild? Such alchemists can only refine a few kinds of third-grade elixirs, and the success rate is very low. As for fourth-grade elixirs, don't even think about it. Seeing Qin Chen not speaking, just sneering, Duan Lingtian also knew that Qin Chen should not have taken the alchemist of his Qianxing Merchant Guild seriously. In fact, this is also the case. The gap between the alchemist of the Qianxing Merchant Guild and Qin Chen in front of him is not just a little bit. Master Qin, with your alchemy level, not to mention in the Northwest Five Kingdoms, even outside the Five Kingdoms, it is extremely heaven-defying. However, I heard that Master Qin will also participate in the re-examination of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament soon. You must know that the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament is a grand event among the geniuses of the Northwest. The ancient southern capital, which appears once every 5 years, has amazing opportunities. The more Master Qin's cultivation level improves, the more terrifying the opportunities he will get in the ancient southern capital, and the higher his future achievements will be. Duan Lingtian knew Qin Chen's identity, so he naturally knew that he would participate in the re-examination of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament next. But now, there are only 10 days left before the re-examination of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament. This Qin Chen is still buying medicinal materials in Wucheng. With Duan Lingtian's intelligence, he immediately guessed that Qin Chen should be here to buy medicinal materials in Wucheng in order to improve his strength. Qin Chen smiled slightly. Guild Leader Duan, cultivation should always be done slowly, don't be too anxious. Duan Lingtian shook his head and said, I can't agree with that. Master Qin, you should also know that the sooner a martial artist breaks through, the better. The younger the age, the higher the potential, and the greater the future achievements. If it is delayed for too long, the momentum in the body will be greatly reduced. This is why we often look at a genius's achievements by first looking at his age. After a pause, Duan Lingtian continued, I know that Master Qin's own cultivation is extraordinary, otherwise he would not have achieved such results in the preliminary round of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament. However, the re-examination of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament is not just a selection among the people in the preliminary round. The geniuses of the major forces in the Northwest Five Kingdoms will also join the competition, seeking that glimmer of opportunity. It can be said that the higher the strength of Qin Chen before the re-examination, the greater the chance of obtaining the opportunity. There's also this. Qin Chen was stunned. He didn't know that the re-examination of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament would also have previous geniuses participating. But after thinking about it carefully, it is not impossible. The ancient southern capital is opened every 5 years, which is a long time. In this process, not everyone has the opportunity to participate in the preliminary round of the Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament. There will definitely be many people who cannot participate in the preliminary round for various reasons. But the talent of this group of people may not be weaker than the geniuses who have participated in the preliminary round. Among them, there are even some geniuses who participated in the previous Five Kingdoms Grand Tournament. 5 years ago, they were still young, but 5 years later, they are still under 25 years old and can still participate in this year's Grand Tournament. For example, Qin Chen is only 16 years old this year. 5 years later, he will only be 21 years old and can directly participate in the next Grand Tournament without participating in the next preliminary round first. Duan Lingtian thought he had grasped Qin Chen's thoughts and finally showed a hint of a smile. Master Qin, there are so many geniuses in the Northwest Five Kingdoms. No matter how high your talent is, how can you be more terrifying than all the geniuses in the entire Northwest? Just say one. Yuan Feng, the top genius of the Great Liang Kingdom in the previous Grand Tournament, was only 18 years old. He was already a late-stage heaven-level expert that year. It is said that he had already entered the profound level 2 years ago. Over the years, he is now. I don't know how terrifying he is. It is not easy for Master Qin to win the championship alone. Yuan Feng. Qin Chen murmured. An 18-year-old late-stage heaven level is indeed terrifying. You must know that Qin Feng also entered the late-stage heaven level at the age of 20. Compared with Qin Feng, this Yuan Feng is obviously more terrifying. Or like Yu Changxiu of the Lingtian sect, who looks only 18 or 19 years old, she is already a late-stage heaven-level martial artist. In terms of talent, she is also very terrifying. Duan Lingtian said with a smile, I believe that Master Qin is here to improve his strength. Only by improving his strength can he gain a greater advantage in the competition. I am here to make a deal with Master Qin. Master Qin will refine some elixirs for my Tianxing Merchant Guild, and my Tianxing Merchant Guild will give Master Qin a 4th-order Tai Xuanzhu fruit as a reward, and promise that as long as Master Qin is in Wucheng, no one will dare to touch the master. Tai Xuanzhu fruit. Qin Chen was slightly stunned. Not bad. I wonder what Master Qin thinks. Duan Lingtian said confidently. The Tai Xuanzhu fruit is indeed a good thing. Qin Chen smiled. He didn't expect the Tianxing Merchant Guild to bring out such a good thing. The Tai Xuanzhu fruit is an extremely terrifying type of 4th-order spiritual medicine, containing astonishing energy, and its effect is to nourish a martial artist's meridians and improve their cultivation. If Qin Chen hadn't obtained the 7-colored heart lotus before, he might have been tempted by this Tai Xuanzhu fruit, but now that he has obtained the 7-colored heart lotus and broken through to the late heaven level stage, he doesn't have much enthusiasm for the Tai Xuanzhu fruit. Although it's a good thing, I don't particularly need it now. Just as a smile appeared on Duan Lingtian's face, Qin Chen suddenly spoke again. Duan Lingtian was stunned. Master Qin, could it be that you don't want to obtain the Tai Xuanzhu fruit? With Master Qin's alchemy skills, the Tai Xuanzhu fruit is enough to improve your cultivation by at least 1 level. It's best to improve cultivation step by step. Why aim so high? Qin Chen's words almost made Duan Lingtian vomit blood. At this moment, he was a little confused. Qin Chen's purpose in coming to Wucheng should be to collect materials to improve his strength, otherwise he wouldn't have come here at this time, but now, he is showing an appearance of not being interested in the Tai Xuanzhu fruit. This is the Tai Xuanzhu fruit. With his current cultivation, it should be what he needs most. How could he not be moved at all? Could he be trying to deceive me? Suddenly, Duan Lingtian had such an idea. But after thinking about it carefully, he felt it was impossible. With his discerning eyes, he could see from Qin Chen's expression that he was indeed not interested in the Tai Xuanzhu fruit, and not pretending. Seeing that Qin Chen was really not interested in the Tai Xuan Zhu fruit, Duan Lingtian's heart sank. His eyes were a little anxious, but he still calmly said, Master Qin, even if you don't need the Tai Xuan Zhu fruit, opening such a first pill pavilion in Wucheng requires a strong backer. Even if our Tianxing Merchant Guild has no objections to you, the other three forces may not be so reasonable. You must know that the Zhu family, Song family, and Wushu Mansion are not as easy to talk to as our Tianxing Merchant Guild. Unexpectedly, Qin Chen nodded and said, Guild Master Duan, what you said makes a lot of sense, so I decided that after tomorrow, this first pill pavilion will no longer be open. You also know that I have to participate in the Five Nations tournament rematch. If I don't leave now, I'm afraid it will be too late. Since I'm leaving, the Zhu family, Song family, and Wushu Mansion you mentioned will have no reason to trouble me, right? Duan Lingtian was completely stunned. The always steady him was even a little dumbfounded. He didn't expect that Qin Chen would actually decide not to open the shop after he said that. Shouldn't someone of his age be fearless and reckless? How would he know that after 2 days? Qin Chen also realized that his profits were too terrifying. If he continued to exchange like this, no matter how wary the three major forces of Wucheng were, they would definitely take action. Even if not openly, they would definitely do so in secret. His purpose in coming here was mainly to remove the 100 ghost curse on his body. Since there was no way to do so, wasting time here was meaningless. Master Qin, Wucheng is a huge market. Are you really going to give up like this? Duan Lingtian even began to persuade Qin Chen. In the eyes of normal people, the first pill pavilion opened by Qin Chen was simply stealing the business of the Tianxing Merchant Guild, and even the higher-ups in the Tianxing Merchant Guild thought so. But Duan Lingtian didn't think so. He saw further than others. What does the Tianxing Merchant Guild do? Commerce and auctions are their main business. Admittedly, Qin Chen's appearance robbed him of a large part of the material acquisition business, but Qin Chen's alchemist identity made his mind active. With Qin Chen's strength, as long as he cooperated with his Tianxing Merchant Guild, he could provide a large number of third-grade pills. With the connections of his Tianxing Merchant Guild, he could completely put these third-grade pills on auction in any auction house in the Northwest Five Nations. At that time, how much profit would be generated? What others saw was that Qin Chen was robbing their market in Wucheng, but what he saw was the entire Northwest market. But now, if Qin Chen patted his butt and left, where would his Tianxing Merchant Guild find such a powerful alchemist? As for using force, after hearing about what happened in the capital of the Great Qi Kingdom, Duan Lingtian didn't even think about it. What kind of cultivation would a person who could kill the sect master of the Ghost Immortal sect with one palm have? Offending such a master would destroy his Tianxing Merchant Guild in minutes. Master Qin, you are an alchemist. Have you heard of the blood spirit fire? In order to reach a cooperation with Qin Chen, Duan Lingtian finally revealed his biggest trump card. Are you talking about demon fire? As soon as Duan Lingtian's voice fell, Qin Chen's expression finally changed. That's right, it's a type of demon fire. Duan Lingtian nodded. Seeing that Qin Chen's expression had changed, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. If Qin Chen wasn't even interested in the blood spirit fire, then he would really be helpless. Master Qin, you are an alchemist, so you naturally know the importance of flames to an alchemist. A powerful flame can even increase an alchemist's strength by more than double. There are many types of flames, including true fire extracted by martial artists themselves through cultivating fire-based techniques, array fire stimulated by formations, demon fire extracted from blood beasts, and earth fire and sky fire that come from the natural world. Demon fire is divided into beast fire and blood spirit fire. Beast fire comes from the bodies of fire-based blood beasts, while blood spirit fire comes from the bodies of mutated plant blood beasts. You don't need to explain these, I know them all. Qin Chen directly interrupted him. Demon fire is actually divided into different types. Not only do blood beasts have demon fire, but some plants also have demon fire in their bodies, called blood spirit fire. These plants are actually a type of blood beast. For example, the sky star vine and the devil flower both have life and kill people invisibly. Compared to the demon fire of blood beasts, the demon fire of plants is even rarer. After all, Plants themselves are often wood attributed, which is extremely incompatible with fire. What level is the blood spirit fire you mentioned, and what is its attribute? Qin Chen said without hesitation, directly asking about the key point of the matter. He said so much just now. In reality, it wasn't that he didn't want to cooperate with the Tianxing Merchant Guild, but that he was preparing to wait for a better price. Qin Chen knew very well that the Tianxing Merchant Guild, as the largest merchant guild in Wucheng, must have many treasures and materials, and perhaps even divine materials among them. But if he agreed directly, the other party would definitely not bring out good things, so he deliberately used a strategy of playing hard to get. Now that he heard that the other party possessed blood spirit fire, he immediately inquired in detail. After all, there were too many types of demon fire, and even some human level, earth level, and heaven level fire-based blood beasts could give birth to demon fire. But this level of demon fire was not even as powerful as the true fire he had condensed himself, and it would not have any effect on the 100 ghost curse in his body. So, what Qin Chen had to determine first was the level of the other party's blood spirit fire.